Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Out of Bounds. It's so funny to say that now since we just changed the name last show. If you've been here before at this time, you may have heard the show name or it was That's Never Happened Before. However, we have had a show name change. It's a little bit more fitting. It's a little bit easier to remember. Out of Bounds. Plus, it works really well with the little GDQ emote. So let's go. But hello, I am Kungfufruitcup. I'm back with you all again. And if you've never seen the show before and you're new, this show is all about breaking down the glitches in speedruns. So this is more of a showcase style show than it is an actual run. We may use a timer, but that's more so for your reference for how long the show's been going. As opposed to like, oh, we're going for world record. We're not. You're going to see characters like stopping in the middle of the game so that the runners can, explain what's going on. And our runner this evening is Spacey L1, who is very passionate about Sekiro, has a lot of knowledge and info to share with us. So it's going to be really, really awesome. How's it going, Spacey?
Good. That's good. I'm really excited to be on the show. I definitely wanted to do it since I found out it existed, honestly.
Yay! Yes, yeah. This is actually one of the people who, I have a form out there if you all want to be on the show at any point and feel like you have a game or a few games you might want to show off. I do have a show pinned on my Twitter page. You can always check that out and apply for the show. And so I was going through it and I was like, oh my gosh, Sekiro, this sounds awesome. There's a lot of content to explore. The FromSoft games tend to be pretty glitch heavy, so they're perfect for the show. We have had Dark Souls on here before. So Spacey is here to show off Sekiro. You'll probably see more FromSoft games in the future. And I'm really excited. So I wanted to know, because you're so excited about this and you're very passionate about this game, what got you into this in the first place? And then what drew you to going for speedruns and glitch hunting and things?
My first speed game started with Dark Souls 3, actually. It was Distortion Dist. I got into him when the game was new. And the funny thing about that is that DS3 very early on was DS3 was a very intended run, only very briefly. And then a lot of new stuff got added gradually, as I was watching in the early months of the game until True Any Percent was Teardrop. I guess I won't go too much into what that is, but basically, yeah, you could. Okay. It got pretty broken really fast, and It was around DLC 1 time when the first DLC for that game came out that I decided to try it. I started with all bosses. My first run was 2 hours for all bosses, 1 DLC, and then I kind of took it easy for a little bit. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, and then kind of got back into it in the second DLC, and then I really just kind of took to it since then, kind of ramping up. And I got to show that game at AGDQ 2019 was a really fun run and definitely a really cool thing in my life that I got to do. And then this game came out shortly after that, and you never. I think a wise runner never says they're definitely going to run something until it's out because you don't know what the game plays like, let alone what the speed run is going to be like. But I liked a lot of the things that From was saying about this game before it came out, that they were going more action, more acrobatic. And lo and behold, when it came out, I did love the game. And even as it developed as a speed game, I've still loved it. So I've just kind of been running it different categories since it came out, basically.
Right. That's awesome. Cool. So it's cool to hear you again. You started with Dark Souls 3 and you've been kind of moving to this. Is there anything else in the series that you run? We'll talk about this at the end too.
In this series, no. The other games that I've run, I ran Dying Light, the original, which is a really underrated speed game, by the way. And because there's another runner of mostly DS1 and DS2 named Wolfie87, who's a really, really close friend of mine, but he also ran Dying Light, and so I got into it because of him and Brood, who are other members of the Speed Souls community. And had a ton of fun learning that game. It's never been a main game, but that's a really underrated game as well. You can just kind of jump through walls at will, which is pretty cool. And then
well, we love doing that.
And then I ran very briefly. I ran the Spyro Reignited.
Oh, fun!
I picked it up when they found Balloonist Skip, and I actually really just wanted to run with Balloonist Skip, and I did a bunch of runs and then recorded one, but the recording was messed up, and so it wasn't a great time. It was a 6 or 7 minute time or something, but that one was really that tells you something about me, I guess, that it was when they found Balloonist Skip that I was oh, I kind of want to. Now that there's a skip straight to the end, now I want to try it, but. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, I'm excited to see all the stuff you have here to show off with Sekiro. I know we're not going to be skipping straight to the end for this one because we have a lot to break down and talk about. So let's get into it. It's going to be great. I hope you all are excited for all of this, all of the fighting nonsense and all of the glitch wonderfulness that we get to see on every episode. Also, keep in mind, anybody in chat, if you all have questions and things throughout, feel free to post that. You know, I am here as kind of commentary, peanut gallery, and I'm happy to relay those questions as we go along. So that's kind of my role here. Otherwise, I get to sit back and watch with the rest of you as Spacey breaks all this down for us. So feel free to do a countdown when you feel ready, and we will get going.
All right. We'll go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, go. And no character creation in this one. We start as the same character. I got to mash start through this, and then I have to stop mashing start at a certain point so that I don't accidentally open the menu. And then so we start in this well here. We don't have a sword. Nice. We don't have a sword, so of course we can't sprint. Makes total sense. So our fastest form of movement when we can't sprint is we just jump. We're going to stealth through this section here because this is a stealth game. They haven't noticed us, so we're all good here. Got to listen for the
They're really not
gunshot behind me. Yeah, they know I'm here.
Oh yeah, like they know.
I just have to time my jumps to not get shot, basically. And then we can hop up here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you just hop in?
There's a cutscene trigger.
A little skip.
No, sorry.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Yeah, that's just a cutscene trigger. Sometimes you can hit the trigger and then like fall out, like, and it'll still like put you here, and it looks pretty funny. But
gotcha. Okay, so did we just skip a cutscene?
Yeah, I just mashed through it, start through it.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. You can just skip through the.
Yeah.
Like the game itself lets you. Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
From usually does. Yeah. We do have an unintended dialogue skip though that we can do here. So in my menu options, I've got the subtitles set to off. And so there's two ways you can skip through dialogue in this game. You can mash X to go line by line, or you can click start to close out of it. But normally if you have subtitles on, which is the default, then when you close the dialogue, the game like puts you back to where like the start of that set of dialogue boxes. But if you turn subtitles off and then mash start through that dialogue, then the game actually counts that as read already. So you save like almost a minute over the course of the entire run by just turning off subtitles. And then so I'm going to mash until I get this item, and then I'm going to click start to just skip the rest of his dialogue. And yeah, that saves a lot of time for like
wow, that was fast.
The dialogue kind of sections. Yeah. But it's funny. It was like it was like multiple years into this game's lifespan almost when we found that out. But so the intended way is you're supposed to go out the door here because he's locked in this tower here, but it's locked from the inside, but he doesn't want to go outside. I mean, there are armed guards out there, but I mean, we're also not going to do anything about the armed guards, so I don't know. Shrug. We're just going to go right back out the window. That is faster. We're going to run by these guys. The other thing that I'm skipping is that we are skipping the tutorial prompts that are super annoying. We're just doing that with a mod that's like community allowed since like forever.
Okay.
We just all kind of agreed.
Okay, cool. I was gonna ask like.
Oh, go ahead.
So if you were interested in speedrunning this game, you'd want to have that mod installed.
Yeah, so it's bundled with Live Split now. So you just like I just have Live Split open, even though I'm not doing real runs, and it's auto blocking them.
That's really
Oops,
cool.
I almost forgot something. This is part of the reroute that I mentioned in Discord. Don't kill me. Thank you.
Right. Apparently there's been a reroute within like the last week for those of you who are watching. So there's some new stuff on here.
Yeah, so we're doing it live though, chat. I mean, I've been working on it obviously. But yeah, I might make some mistakes or some stuff. I'll mention what's different. But you will see, the problem is that you will see sometimes like I'll be running and then he'll like stutter kind of and like restart. That's because the prompts are like happening but getting skipped. So that is like the prompts are so annoying. They're still very annoying. Even when we try to use a mod to skip them, because you'll still get eaten inputs, and you have to be like really aware Oh yeah, this is Genny, by the way. We're just gonna watch a little bit of this cutscene. Just notice his facial hair or relative lack thereof. That'll be relevant in 2 hours. So
oh right, that. Okay. Don't forget everyone. Lack of facial hair.
And then we're gonna let him kill us because this is the tutorial. And even if you beat him, he just like cuts your arm off anyway. Spoilers. He's not that hard to beat actually, if you know what you're doing, but
so how do you get your arm back?
I have a prosthetic now.
I thought that was already a prosthetic.
No, yeah, sorry. I had like a glove on that's like kind of the same as this one before. I did have a working arm, but now I have a grappling hook.
Oh.
So, kind of a win, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's certain trades that you can make. You get a working grappling hook as an arm, and your arm still works the same if it was a prosthetic. I wonder. Yeah. Would you be willing to give it up?
I mean, it also just like articulates and does other cool stuff, just kind of like a real arm would, because it's like a little bit magic and powered by souls, kind of is the implication. So that's cool. Okay. So we're gonna jump up here, just doing early game stuff. We're gonna stealth death blow this guy, and then you're gonna see kind of our go-to early game combat strat, which is we're going to be trying to dead angle him. Now,
what does that mean?
So dead angling is like a broader Souls term. In the normal Souls games, it means to like when you block, you've got like a block like box kind of in front of you, right? And so these guys, you can kind of conceptualize that they have something similar. And in the other Souls games, in PvP especially, you can kind of swing yourself to try and hit where that block box isn't. To try to hit people even when they're blocking. So we're kind of doing something like that, where we're hitting like kind of to the side, or sometimes we'll like start the swing and then like move over so that he won't block me.
Okay, so you just get around the block every time.
Yeah, so like enemies just blocking us isn't a big deal normally, because most of the time we're going to be focused on dealing posture damage, which is like the yellow bar that appears at the top of the screen. And when they block, they take full posture damage anyway. They just don't take health damage. And health damage, like the more health damage they take, the slower their posture regenerates. But as long as we pressure most enemies, it doesn't matter where their health is at. But you can kill them via health as well, or instead, like depending. I'll pick up this money there.
Nice. Okay, cool.
But, so the thing is just that when they, like the way that combat kind of flows in this game with normal enemies is that it's like, you'll hit and they'll block, and then eventually they'll parry you, and then that's your cue to like respond to what they're doing, and usually like parry their counterattack. Which the only problem with that in terms of speed really is that when they parry, they take only 25% of that posture damage that they would normally take. So the main point of dead angling, especially in early game, is we just don't want them to parry us, really. We don't really care if they block.
You can do the full amount of damage every hit.
And then later there's going to be other stuff that's like a bigger deal. And so we got our next mini boss, which is our third mini boss. The mini bosses come quick here. I think the chicken saw me. I don't really care.
Right, this is all learning experience for the early game.
Yeah, so we can't just go past him, at least normally, because there's like a fog gate that's going to spawn there. He's like way up there. But I have like a stealth sugar here, which is, I'm going to use it and it's going to make me like sort of invisible. Like I have like an invisible effect, but really I'm just like harder to detect. And I'm not just invisible, I also make less noise, which is maybe doesn't make sense, but pretty much all the Souls games or From games have something like this. So that's going to let us get a backstab that a lot of people don't know that you can get. So I'm going to lock onto him here, and I can actually backstab him even though his back's up against the wall.
Whoa! That's cool.
And now this guy,
not even glitched.
He's like a big beast kind of enemy, so he doesn't really like block or parry. So I'm just trying to avoid his attacks and hit him here.
Okay. What is the yellow bar building
That's
up?
his posture, yep. And then the red is the thing on the left, that's his health. And then there's two dots above the health. That's how many times I have to death blow him. So see the yellow bar filled, so I can get my last death blow here.
Nice, okay.
So getting the stealth backstab here basically cuts off half of his health.
Oh, wow. Wow! That's really cool.
Yeah, and then we don't have to kill these guys here. We're going to do that to show something else.
You knocking him back on purpose?
He's parrying me. It's fine. This is like a specific type of enemy that we're never really gonna have to deal with in the speedrun. They'll like block you like that. You can either hit them once and then let them counterattack to parry, or when you see them in their block stance, you can hold R1 and do like a thrusting attack, which we'll get into more later. But mostly, thrusting attacks aren't that useful, like speed-wise, because bosses will tend to just parry you if you do the thrusting attack, because thrusting attacks can be parried, even though they can't be hard blocked. And that's true for the player, but we'll talk about that more later.
Okay.
So we got like a couple things to explain here about like the physics. So these games in general, From games, aren't platformers, but the way that they're not platformers varies by game. So like in the older games, it's like when you jump, you have no control in the air. You have no aerial drift. It's just like jump and then you're just going whatever direction, and that makes the platforming really hard. In this one, we have like pretty significant control in the air, actually. But the thing is, since this isn't a platformer, there's no like bonking animation, right? So I can just jump straight into a wall, and the wall doesn't really eat any of my momentum. I'm just going to keep moving forward against the wall, like until I run out of jump, basically.
Okay.
So we're building to something. Cool. So that's kind of how the jumping works. And then the other thing that's different in this game is they really don't want you to die to fall damage or be afraid of dying to fall damage. So they have these walls here. I tend to just call them like ledge assist, but the game doesn't explain them to you ever. But you can't like just walk off of walls. But what I can do is I can sprint through those invis walls, or I can like jump through them.
Okay. And that's like the game is expecting you to sometimes do that, or no?
Yeah, the game just doesn't want you to accidentally go off the edge. So it's like the same.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Very
I
kind.
think From is a lot nicer than people give them credit for, in a lot of strange ways that don't really become apparent until you've played a lot, but they're actually pretty friendly devs. But so we're building to something. The other thing is that the jump animation is really long. So now I'm hitting X and there I'm jumping. So there's like kind of a jump squat.
Oh, okay.
So if I start sprinting against the wall there, the invis wall, and then jump, like it will like leave me stuck against the wall basically until I get through the jump squat.
Okay.
And then just one more thing I'm going to do. We do have a mesh viewer, like a collision viewer for this game. I don't think it's going to mess with anybody too much, but just FYI, it's all the collision and everything is like random bright colors, and sometimes like the game doesn't run super well when it's up. So if you are like super photosensitive, just be aware, and I will let you know every time I'm turning it on. So I'm going to turn it on right now, and I'll tell you when I turn it off as well.
Okay.
But yeah. So this is the ledge wall here that you can see. And they're not always this tall. Sometimes they're just like little guardrails, which is very funny. But you can see that it extends like all the way through here. And we'll pull this out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see all of them. It's a mess, but and then so notice like if I go to a place that doesn't have that wall, like the physics work differently. I just can kind of walk off. Unlike here, where if I'm not sprinting or jumping, I can't go through. Okay.
That's so strange.
Yeah, so I'm turning this off. Basically, the physics are built
So
for
different.
the physics of this game are built for careful stealthing around, not really for speed. There's not a lot of like preservation of momentum and stuff, but there's some other.
But that makes it fun to break.
Yeah. Okay. So this skip is a skip that's used in any percent. This is ogre skip. Well, and the shorter categories in general, one of which I used to run, but I haven't had to do this skip like in runs for a long time. Obviously, I've derusted it for this, but it may take me a little bit to get. But it's a
Okay. Tell us how it works. We got the jump. Oh.
yeah. So it's something we call a late, or like I know a lot of speed games now they call it like they refer to like games having coyote time. I always just call it a late jump. But this is basically like, because of all those things I mentioned about the physics, about walls not eating our momentum, we can carry our momentum around the corner, and we can do these crazy corner jumps. So this is a corner jump.
Okay.
This is a corner jump wall kick into ledge cling. Or like ledge
Gotcha.
grab.
And you're going back and forth between controller and mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, sorry. This is like a common thing in Souls games. You don't have to. You can totally do this one on controller. Some of the older Souls games, they have like stuff where you pretty much need to use a keyboard and mouse. But this game, you could do everything. I like keyboard and mouse for some stuff because you have like more camera sensitivity, basically, without having to adjust what I normally play with. But you can totally do it without. And the funny thing I think is that like at least early on in the game, it was like it tended to be the runners who came to this game from the older Souls games use mouse and keyboard for stuff, and the runners who started with this game just stick to controller because they're not used to having to swap. And it sounds like crazier than it is, like having to swap control schemes on the fly. Usually you do it like during an animation or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That should work.
It also seems it's there we go. I was gonna say it's nice that you've had that backup in case you when you were falling. And stuff.
It's still terrible, honestly, to grind. This is probably the hardest skip into the game. And so the reason why it's so hard is because we have to do a late jump at a place that has like those walls. Late jumps can be like really super free on some surfaces where there isn't that. But it's like incredibly painful and tight on like places like that. And then so you would just come up and open this door here, and I would swap back to controller on this door. And then this puts us in the same place we got by defeating Ogre, because there was a fog wall here, so we couldn't just zip up here. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of late jumps, because like late jumps are basically the foundation of breaking this game, and like the different types of tech and glitches in this game kind of build upon that. A lot of it is just because we can jump like way farther and do weird things like around corners like that they definitely don't expect you to be able to.
Gotcha. So I do have a question. In terms of like the glitches and things that you can do in this game, can they be done on all versions of Sekiro or mostly just PC? Or
I will mention things that are patched currently. This jump you can do on console because like console has like a different frame rate. But late jumps are different on console. Most people say that they're easier. So like on console, the first version of the skip that was found was on console, where you could literally just do a late jump off of here and get enough distance to make that.
Wow, okay.
But like that doesn't work on PC. You have to do this harder version to get enough distance. So I'm not a console runner of this game, but from what I've heard from the people who have done both is that it's actually easier to get late jumps on console, even in like difficult spots like this. Presumably because of the FPS.
That's cool.
But stuff that has been patched or changed, I will mention. We're playing on 1.04. The only reason we're playing on 1.04 is to avoid all the online stuff that they added and like the extra boss rush menus and stuff, because we just don't want stuff cluttering up our menu. But as far as I'm aware and have tested, everything that you're going to see in this patch of the game works on current patch as well.
On current patch. Great. Yeah. That's awesome.
And there might be some places I can even show you related to old patch where they've fixed things, because you can actually see the invis walls that they've added in some places.
Oh, nice. So if somebody was to pick up this game like today, they wouldn't have a problem. Like they wouldn't have to downgrade necessarily.
No, yeah. It's just, like I said, the menu is just more cluttered. But yeah, like for using the strats and playing the game, like, yeah, you can do this.
Nice. Okay, cool.
All right, so we're moving on.
Alrighty.
We're just going to sprint the race through here. Oh, these guys are going to be different. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but their aggro pattern is going to be different, because normally I would still have the stealth sugar there, but that's fine.
Oh, right. Because it's been a while.
Yeah. So we're gonna skip. That's funny. We're gonna skip that mini boss for now, and we'll come back to him later. So we're gonna do this section, not really the casual way, but like a casual, friendly way. I'm gonna show. It's like the older way we used to do it before we found some skips, and then I'll go back and show the skips, because that way the snake will be gone. Because once I get through one way,
cool. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I didn't explain that there's going to be a snake. There's going to be a snake. So yeah, be prepared. So we're going to jump over here. There's Sneck. He's our friend. I'm going to dodge him.
Is he actually?
What?
No. Is he actually a friend or not really?
I mean, he's just cool. He's a bro.
Yeah, he's cool looking.
And then, yeah, so this is a tech that's not useful in the game anymore in speedruns, but this is the fastest way to move on these ledges is to shimmy, which is pretty cool. And then the game wants you to hide in the palanquin. You don't have to hide in the palanquin. You can just dodge him like that. You just have to
Nice.
run.
How do you do the shimmy thing to do it faster?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just mashing the.
Getting
I'm just
past
like
Sneaky
mashing
Boy.
the direction, like that, instead of
Oh,
holding.
okay.
Oh yeah, hi friend.
Why are you so mad?
No, it's okay. He angry, but he all right. He'll get over it.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, so now we can warp back to where we were, and he'll be gone, and I can show the hard strat that we do in runs. So this is another late jump basically, and it's a hard late jump. So like in the category that I've been running for a while now, like the longer categories where you don't skip mini bosses, this is the hardest trick because it's another difficult late jump.
Oh, okay. So what are we skipping exactly?
It's literally just faster movement than going around there. Where it's two jumps instead of going through there. So I would switch to keyboard when I'm doing it. Again, you could do this on controller. I like keyboard. Oh, actually, I shouldn't grapple there. Normally, I would grapple there and go the old way and just do the second half of the trick instead of doing both halves, but we want to show everything, so we're going to just retry.
Okay.
Oh. So this is a double canyon skip. Each half of double canyon skip saves like 7-8 seconds. See, there exactly is like a baby late jump. And you see there's an invisible wall there. That's why I can't... That's why this jump is hard as well. I need a late jump because there's a little invisible wall there. Actually, it's big, but we have to duck under the invisible wall and then wall kick to make this.
What's the best method of like practicing to get the timing on these? Oh,
yeah, we have a teleport tool. That is the best way to practice, is to use the teleport tool. So what you would do is you would save your position up there with like which is with cheat engine that I'm using to show the debug draw as well. So you would set your position up there, and then if you screw it up or when you complete the trick, you just hit whatever hotkey you have set, and you just teleport back and you just do it again.
Nice.
And
okay. And then in terms of timing to get those late jumps, to make sure that you have like the actual timing correct, what would be like your best tip?
Yeah,
for that?
it's right as you go over the edge. It's really tight. Like I said, I've been running this game since it came out in 2019, so like 4 years almost, and it's just you just get better at it over time. And it's like some days I'll get it like 3-4 times in a row, like doing runs, and other days it'll take me like 10 tries to get through here without losing time, basically. But it's kind of what it sounds like. You want to jump like right as you're going off the edge. If you get it where it like snaps you to the wall like this, that means you jumped, or you did your running jump like too early. If you run off the wall and then like wall kick like on the side instead, then obviously it means you did it too late. And you just try to find that sweet spot and really get it into your muscle memory. Gotcha. But yeah, so there's an invisible wall there. I wish I could show it, but it's really difficult to show it even with the debug draw because all the other walls get in the way. But there's an invisible wall that goes like from like the white part of this rock, it extends like all the way out there. So you got to like fall below that and then wall kick to make the last little bit of the jump.
Gotcha.
But then the second half of Double Canyon is here. We're gonna like kick off of these icicles basically. And some people just like run straight at it, but this like you don't actually even need a late jump for. I find myself like I position myself like right here really quick. So I actually so I'll land here, run around, stop sprinting briefly, restart sprint, and then do that. And then I like also swing myself a little bit around the corner with the mouse. That's why I like mouse and keyboard, but you can totally do it with controller. You can also just late jump right from there and then wall kick off there. And obviously it's a little faster because you don't have to like restart the running part. But it's like, to me, it's just like, I don't know, it's way easier to do consistently just to do it like that. You don't even need a late jump. So I like doing it that way.
You have a few options and different ways you can do it, whether you're using mouse or keyboard. Cool. Or a controller, I mean. Nice.
Yeah, so that's Double Canyon. That's like the hardest skip in the main run. And then in the short categories, you have to do Ogre skip into Double Canyon, and it's terrible.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I mean, you know, you just don't get attached to your runs until you get it.
That's a really good way to look at it. It's very important.
Okay, so this is new. Trying to think if I want to grab this idol here. I might. I don't think it screws up any menuing, but... I'll just have to be aware that I have this idol later. So normally you come do that. We're gonna do what's called a like a quit out warp, basically. So in the old From games, one of the strategies we would use all the time to get around enemies is you would just run past enemies and then you quit the game real quick. And then when you load back in, you'll be where you were and the enemies will be gone.
Oh, that's cool.
But in this game, the way that they got around that is that if you quit out, so notice I'm like over there, the game stops actually saving your position on the ground when you have aggro. So like if you try to run past a bunch of enemies, get to like a door or something, and then quit out, the game will put you back to where you aggroed the enemies. So like I'm over here. So this is like,
oh wow, okay.
This reroute is basically just a really long quit out warp. So I kind of have to do it all in one go, but then we can go back and we can talk about stuff. So I'm going to jump over here. I'm going to be careful not to aggro these guys because I don't want to be warped too far. I need this money pouch over here because of that. And I'll jump back up here. Now we're going to say hi to Gyobu, which is our first full-on boss. I'm going to pick up more ash here as well. And then I'm going to do a skip that we've had for a long time. I do need the path specifically, so I'm going to run between these two swords here. That's going to prevent him from smashing this tower immediately, because he can just smash this if he wants. And I'm going to do a... Whoop, I'm going to fail. Okay. That's fine, though, because it's going to put me right back at the top here. I get one try. I get one try at that because he'll like come and smash the tower basically. Otherwise.
Oh, gotcha. So that would be like a run reset or like a. Or just like
yeah, a quit out won't restore the tower. A quit out would just put me back up here, but the tower would be destroyed. So you'd have to warp back to the last idol. I need to make sure I do my pathing correctly here. Again.
Gotcha.
So when I go like this and run between these two swords, basically it makes sure that he runs away and does like a little circle first before he comes over here to get me. There we go. So that late jump's actually not too hard. So I'm gonna get this guy's aggro.
Okay, nice. Whew.
Jump up here.
You skipped a bunch there.
Oh, we're not even done. Okay, so we gotta do that kick there to make that dog see us as well. So now the dog has aggro. Kyobu's boss music ended. So let's check on our friend.
You want the dog to aggro.
Yeah. And there goes Gyobu. He just ran off the edge here, trying to path to us.
So sad.
Yeah, so they're protected by the same kind of ledge walls as us, but if you're like out of the arena, then they will kill themselves trying to path to you. I'm gonna kill this guy. Whoops.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's so funny.
Oh, dog is following me. That's not ideal. I need Bull to kill the dog. Please. Thank you. And now I need to get Bull near a wall before I kill him. That's...
Ouch. Ooh.
But this is the hard part of this route. The dog followed me there and it threw off the normal cycle. So I kind of have to improvise a little bit.
He's near a wall.
Yeah, not close enough. Don't die.
Dead.
Okay, I died, but that's fine. So I get revived here. Yeah. It's fine. He actually wasn't even close enough to the wall there. I actually need him closer.
So why do we get him close to the wall?
That will become apparent.
Okay, we can wait.
This should work if I do it this way. So I kicked him there to cancel his animation just to save time.
Okay.
Dash, wall kick. Okay, now the game can't save my position up here. I can also hug the wall if I'm like really close to the wall.
Okay.
And then now I can quit out warp. So we have to hold aggro that whole time. You need the dog to aggro, because otherwise you won't maintain aggro the whole time. But the dog followed us in there, which is unlucky, which he does sometimes, but it's not that common. And that threw off the cycle, and now we're back here.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
but we wanted to do that.
So I'm not that good at that trick because it's new and it's painful. But yeah, that is what we were trying to do. So that was a really bad bullfight, but we did it. Okay, but now I can explain the jump a little bit better. So like, yeah, so remember what I said about not getting attached to runs. Now with like that strat added, it's just like, until I get past bull, I'm like, I don't even care. Because it's like...
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and there's weird stuff, like when exactly Gyobu runs off the edge is inconsistent. If you do the jump fast enough, it usually works pretty well, but sometimes you have to wait for him a little bit up once you get all the way up there. And other times he'll be like dead way before you get there, which is good, but...
Gotcha.
Yeah, so there's like... See, I don't have the ledge assist here, but there is like a weird kind of corner snap that happens, so you kind of want to run like off the corner. You see how it bumped me a little bit? Yeah, that's kind of where you want to aim, is like right on the edge of the corner there. This jump's not too hard, though. You just have to do it really quick, and you don't get a lot of retries at it normally. But this one's not too bad. But yeah, the reason we did that is because there's an NPC we need to talk to actually advance like the story. Because this game's a lot more heavy on story triggers and stuff than the older FromSoft games. So we have to go talk to this NPC.
Okay.
So I have to mash X through his dialogue until I get to an option here. And then I need to pick no. If I pick yes, then I lose like... It's like a minute or something, so the run's just dead if you click yes there.
Okay.
But you can just hold down like during his dialogue and buffer the down option out of it. So you can literally just hold down and mash X and it's fine.
Okay, and then you like won't accidentally...
Yeah, you'll never accidentally reset there, which I may have done before I figured that out.
Oh yeah. No. You know, a lot of times you have to learn through experience. Yeah. Okay.
So then we sold the money pouch that we got there. Because this game, instead of souls, you have separate like money and experience. Okay. And then, because of that, we can buy the firecrackers there, which are an item we will equip later. And then, because we did all that, so when we killed the bull, even though we didn't like go and grab the idol after bull, it automatically gives us the idol after bull. Because it shuts bull's arena after you kill him. So they don't want you to get stuck, so they give you the idol. So we can just warp back to last rested now. And so that's another save.
Yeah, they don't expect you to like warp back out.
Yeah, so it's like with the quit out warp, it's like a really clever, like you rebound back there and then you can just warp directly back to here, which saves a warp as well.
That's really cool.
But it's a little bit painful right now, but it's also new. So, you know, a lot of stuff's new when it's painful when it's new.
Painful when it's new, exactly.
Now we can just go on our way, killing mini bosses here. This guy, we're just gonna dead angle him basically. Like, it's a little tricky because, like, we can take time to put him in the corner. That's an intended stealth death blow. We can, like, bait him into the corner, but it's slower than just being good at dead angling, basically.
Right.
Because you don't really need the corner.
It just makes it easier.
Yeah, especially because, like, there, he did that attack. I couldn't stagger him out of that attack. Because he just has hyper armor during it. So I had to like block that kick and I had to do it unlocked, which is kind of annoying, but you just get good at it over time.
Okay.
So we killed him so that we can go down here. A lot of people don't find that guy early on. We don't need this coin pouch in this route anymore, but I'm going to grab it for safety. Because we can use it to buy some stuff later if it comes to it. We grab this idol that we need for later because there's a mini boss down there. So we...
Yeah, again, like, backups are great for this kind of thing, because you might want to show off multiple, like, angles, or, you know, might need it. You might not think about it for a glitch showcase.
And then, so the next thing we're going to show is, like, again, you can just dead angle this boss, but I'm actually going to show the slightly older strat where you corner her, because there's, like, a really cool... Like, it's actually a good place to explain, like, camera manipulation. So there's a guy down there, like a gunman. You can also just run off this cliff and then like death blow him from up here, and it looks really sick, but it's slower, sadly. So we're gonna go kill that mini boss down there, but we don't want this guy to shoot at us. So, as is the case in a lot of games, enemies have like different render states depending on whether they're on camera or not. So they'll use like simpler animations or skip certain animations altogether if they're not on camera. So the way this is going to work is we're going to zip over there. We're going to get our first stealth blow on that mini boss there. And then we're going to wait for this guy's bar to turn yellow, which says that he's searching for us. And then we're actually going to turn and look up at him while we're fighting the mini-boss. Because enemies have this kind of like looking around, like where did he go kind of animation that they do. And if you're not looking at him, he won't start that animation. So we actually want to look at him to make sure that he starts that animation. And because we're directly in front of him looking around for us will actually make him take longer to find us. Which actually gives us enough time to kill the boss in the corner.
That's so funny. Okay.
Because we'd rather not have to dodge bullets and fight the boss at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Over here. So it's filling. Now it's yellow. Now it's yellow. I look at him. And get the boss in the corner.
Oh, I see it there.
You see his red bar going back down. Whoops. Letting her out of the corner. Okay, well, that's fine. We showed the camera strat. We're just going to push her towards here now. That's fine. But yeah, so it delayed how long it took him to see me. Once he's done his looking around animation once, though, he won't do it again. So I can't just keep looking at him to stall him forever.
Yeah, you have to like be quick and get it after that first try or that first like glance.
Yeah. So this is a much smaller kind of trick here, but I'm going to show like a little tiny optimization kind of thing that's like useful in a couple places. It saves like about half a second. So there's like ledge assist here. But these like little tree stumps that are grapple points extend a little bit past the walls. I can actually show that. So I'm turning on the mesh viewer again, and now. And so see, this is funny because like in some places they just have these little walls, just little guardrails. But you can see that.
Oh, I see.
So I can jump and grapple here, but it's a little bit slower. It's faster if I run towards this. Nope, it didn't get it there. But I can do it again. And it's like a fraction of a second, but like it's not too hard like once you get good at it. So you would drop off here, run here. There we go. And late jump off of there.
Oh, okay, nice.
Saves like just a little bit.
Okay, so you just jump over.
Yeah, it just saves a little bit of time compared to grappling. Because you move pretty fast while you're in the grapple state, but the actual like startup of the grapple is pretty slow, and like it has some end lag too. Now we're gonna go around a chicken. Hello, chicken. Goodbye, chicken. We're gonna grab another sugar that we're gonna use later. I'll explain how those work when we get there, when we're actually gonna use it. Oops, I need these. And then there's another mini-boss here. The hard part of this mini-boss is supposed to be getting to him. You're supposed to run around the corner. There's like a whole like long side path with a mini-boss that we're gonna go fight later. But we could just parkour up here. The big thing about this trick is just that this tree branch here, the way its collision looks, is like this part of the tree has collision, like this little knob, but then like this branch stuff is all just visual here. So you have to make sure you aim at like the little knob part here. But other than that, it's not too difficult. And then we just stab this guy.
And then it's over.
Yeah, we can literally just wail on him. So this is like an enemy type that you find later, but he's the one creating like the mists that's keeping us from progressing, basically. But we could just hop up to him. Now we're going to show one way to cancel fall damage. Because there is fall damage in this game. It's just you have to fall fairly far to get it, but grappling cancels fall damage, so that's one way. The other ways we will see later. And then we're just kind of running through this area. And now I have to do some menuing. So in this game, you can pause, unlike other games, but the downside of that from a speedrun perspective is it means I'm losing time when I menu.
Yeah, when you're actually... Yeah, that
so
makes
I actually
sense.
have to be very cognizant about like when I open my menu and optimal stuff like that. I'm gonna get this guy's attention on purpose, because if he does a certain attack, he will come here and he will... he's being slow today. But he could have canceled me out of that idle animation early while still giving me the idle. But he chose not to today. That's okay.
Whoa, we're going really fast with the water.
Yes, you swim faster than you run. Your underwater swim speed is 50% faster than sprint speed.
How? What?
Well, you'll just have to see how he swims. He just rockets over there. But yeah, this is unintended too.
That's wild.
There's like a bunch of ways to skip this. You're only skipping like a little thing where you could just crawl under the house here. But you can tell when you kind of look at the collision, because the collision on that tree is very unnatural. Like it's like almost like a rectangle.
Okay.
It's like not tree shaped at all, which tells you that they didn't want you to do this. But they do let you wall kick off of it, and there are certain invisible walls they put up other places that you can't even wall kick off of. So if they really didn't want us to do it, then they would have put that there. But even if they had, we could just do this way instead. So that's like the backup if you fall into the water, or if you're learning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of ways to do it. Like I haven't even got the fastest possible jump. The fastest possible jump is you get like that is the fastest possible. But you can do the grapple as a backup.
Oh, nice.
And then just land here and sprint down here. Because we need this confetti, which is a buff for later. That's a bead, which we don't need, so we're not going to grab that. And then it's a 500 cent pouch there. Just mentioning because I know. Okay, so there's a boss here. And this, again, is like a newer version, which is also kind of an older version. It's something that we've done in like the shorter categories for a long time, but you used to do this differently.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit less forgiving. So I might mess it up and have to like load a save because there's like a limited amount of items, but we will see. I've been practicing, obviously. So we're gonna run.
I believe.
We're gonna not aggro the boss. Boss doesn't know we're here. Still stealthing. Hit her with the ash. And then stealth death blow from above.
Wow. Wow, so fast.
And then this mini boss only has 1 health bar. Or this boss, rather, only has 1 health bar. So that just skips the entire fight. So...
I was going to say, it's all done. Like, that was a whole boss.
Yeah. So the snap seeds are a specific item that only work on illusion type enemies and bosses, which this is the only boss that's illusion. So they do damage to her, and you can hit her with up to 3, but if you are aggroed onto her, or she's aggroed onto you, when you do the 3rd, she will counterattack, so be aware of that.
Okay.
But you can use up to 3 to take damage off of her, but we only care that it's making her step backwards. And then we're hitting her with these fistfuls of ash. So there's a prosthetic tool you get access to, that you could have access to now, but that's part of this new route, is that we don't get the prosthetic until later. But ash basically works like the firecrackers prosthetic, where it staggers enemies. And most bosses have like a cooldown on their stagger from things like this, but Monk weirdly doesn't. So basically all we're doing in this skip is we're avoiding her aggro range until we get like here, and then we're running at her. And then the hard part is that I only have 4 ash and 3 snap seeds to get this in. So if you want to do this casually, just come here with firecrackers, and you can even have like a ton of fistful of ash and the snap seeds. And you don't have to be precise about this at all. You can just like run up behind her and just wail on her with those until she's back here, and you can wall kick off of this. But,
nice.
But because we only have so many items, I have to be really careful. So she starts the fight walking forward. So I need to catch her with the first snap seed as soon as possible so that she hasn't walked very far forward. So I'm timing that. I need to do it like right about here, right before these pile of rocks.
Gotcha.
So
for the run.
Yeah,
right?
trade secret of speedrunning. Like, I don't know, 60% of speedrunning is memorizing floor textures. So, you know, just start memorizing floor textures. So it's like...
That's good. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of what's in it. There's like tons of memorization with all kinds of elements like this, like in speedrunning in general, but also with glitches. Like there's a lot of setups and things that you'll want that also rely on very specific areas and like...
Yeah, and there's a thing...
Corners.
Yeah, there's a thing that happens sometimes in like speedrunning discords and something where somebody will come in and they'll be like, I can't get this trick, and it's like, which setup are you using? And they're like, which what? So
oh
like,
no, and then you're like, oh, we need to help you.
So be aware, setups exist. Don't try to just brute force things until you feel like you get it. Just start. Just accept that you're going to have to memorize floor textures and count steps and things like that, and it's fine. And you don't care after a while. So it's 1 and then 2, and then I dash, hit her with the second, and then it's 4 of these as I'm walking into position, and then I jump back in. Bam.
Gotcha.
So that's that trick. The reason she has, like, she's even available to be stealth, like, she has the capacity to be stealth, like, get a stealth death blow from above on her, is because she uses the same frame as another boss that we'll fight later that has an intended phase skip that involves doing that. So that's why that works, if anyone was wondering why that works. Oh, but the other thing you can do is, because she doesn't have a cooldown on her stun for whatever reason, you can also just stand there and like ash 1, 2. I don't remember if it's 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, but you can just ash 1, 2, 1, 2, ash 1, 2, you know, etc. There's like a lot of ways to cheese that boss. I don't know why they didn't give her a stun, like a stun cooldown on it, but they didn't. Oh, I just warped to the wrong place as well. That's fine. You're supposed to warp back to idle. Or back to the shrine. Yeah. You're supposed to warp back to the shrine from there. To the temple. That's another new route change.
Gotcha.
So that's why muscle memory did the wrong thing. But now, finally, we're going to equip prosthetic tools. Even though we're not actually going to use them right now. But this is where it's convenient to go back here. To put them on our arm. And then there's other stuff we can do with them later.
Okay.
So I'm just skipping through his dialogue here. So the thing about the dialogue skip is that, like, because you're only skipping like each individual section when you start cancel, you have to be aware of like how the dialogue is parsed, basically, to know like when you need to mash X and when you need to mash start. And it's like not like a big deal, but like it's like a little thing you have to get used to. So we have to do our menuing here. Menu's a little different because I grabbed some safety stuff. No, actually, yeah, I'm going to do that now. So this is like a total safety thing. I'm going to use these, and I'm going to buy a bunch of emblems. So I wouldn't normally have this money. But spirit emblems are what power like our prosthetics and also some like super powerful abilities we get later. So normally you just survive on what you get dropped, because you always get 15 spirit emblem drops from mini bosses, not from bosses, but from mini bosses. But the routing normally would be kind of tight, so that you'd like, there are some places where if you die, you could actually run out of emblems. So I'm just going to buy like a ton right now. And they get more expensive. They get more expensive as the game goes on as well. So I need to buy them now if I'm going to buy them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now we got to climb this castle. So this is where we ended up right after we killed Bull here. So there's Bull's door. There's like a bunch of ways.
Oh, the bull. Okay.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of ways to skip up here. I'm gonna do the recent one, the newest one, which is slightly faster than like the old ways, and then I'll show some of the old ways after.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But I'm going to set a hotkey real quick here. I'm gonna set a hotkey here because if I fail this, I will fall into the abyss, and there's no kill planes down there. But the game will kill you eventually, but it's like 30 seconds later, so I'm just going to teleport back up here if I mess it up in that specific way. So I'm going to climb up here. There's a hole in this building here. Now this collision here does not extend out as far to the left as it looks like. So that's number one to be aware of. And now I need to wall kick off of that thing in front of me here. There we go, and land in this little bit of water that extends out past here.
Oh, wow, okay.
And now we have Air Swim, which I think a lot of people know this game has, but it's beautiful. Yeah, so it works the same way that it does in like Spyro and stuff, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, like Spyro 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it kind of like you're finding a seam, or?
Yeah, so there aren't like volumes that are coded as water or not water. There's like these planes that trigger you in and out of swim state. And so if we hit one of those planes out of bounds, then we can just swim back wherever we want, basically, without getting rid of our swim, which you're not supposed to be able to do. However, I pathed differently, so okay. Yeah, this is the building. Yeah, and then I go back out the hole that I came in. So now we can just kind of hang around here for a little bit before we go fight the boss. Oh, those guys are going to throw stuff at me, but that's cool. So this is one of the things we're going to be doing in this run for the rest of the night, is we're going to be doing some kind of out of bounds touring and look at some interesting stuff.
So how far can you swim now that we're just in the middle of the air? Which is perfect.
Yes. So
how far can you go without it like tossing you back in bounds, or
it will kill me?
Having a wall or
Remember
something?
when I said FromSoft was nice. They're not that nice. If I go to an area that is different, like a load zone basically, that is different from where I got my air swim, the game will insta-kill me. No revive, just full dead immediately. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you have to stay within the bounds and get yourself back in bounds before you hit.
About that, but there's
no?
some ways.
Okay.
There's some ways, but we won't see it in this segment. We'll see it in the next segment. But there's some ways. There's some ways around it. But yeah, you can't just swim wherever. However, like if I want to swim like out into those mountains or whatever, all the way out there, I absolutely can because I'm not entering another load zone. There's just nothing out there. So like we can go look at those trees and stuff. But I mean, this isn't the best segment for it. But yeah, you could just kind of wander as long as you don't hit a load zone incorrectly. But we'll have plenty of time to see that later. So the other thing, this is like a very famous thing to people who've played through this game, but this is the woo guy. Or this is one of the woo guys. There's the other woo guy.
What?
So he's like,
what are they doing?
Yeah, so he's chilling up on this kite, and then it's like when you're walking through there, like all along the building, which is like the intended path, then he'll like come down at you, and he just screams woo, and he's just having the time of his life. But
okay.
Yeah, he's up here. But the funny thing is that this isn't actually him. This is an imposter, a Mogus. So this kite is one object. It does have a health bar. See, the health bar is down there where the kite originates, though. So
okay.
I can kill him. See, now he's dead. But fear not, because Woo Guy is not dead. So if I actually go hit his trigger over here. There he is. He's alive and well. Oh, he almost fell off the building. But he's good. He's good. Yeah, so the way these kites work is that it's not actually him up here attached to the kite. The kite is a separate object that will then spawn him. He's being annoying. There we go. So the kite is a separate object that will spawn him when you hit the trigger, and then the old kite model will be replaced with this kite model that doesn't have him attached.
Weird.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's just a weird little gameplay thing.
Yeah.
And then there's like the older ways of getting up there we can show after we fight the boss. But let's go kill this guy here. So this is Genny again up here. Again, facial hair, relevant later. And we're gonna run right past him here. We're gonna use this confetti at about that line. Jump up here, and now we've got him in the corner. So this we can dead angle, and we don't even need to. This isn't terribly difficult. That's good RNG.
Okay.
It's just a matter of like getting the rhythm down. So I am like turning to face him to hit him with my 5th hit in my combo, because otherwise it won't hit him. 3, 4, and turn 5. 1. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So the hard part.
This is again more dead angle, right?
So the hard part of this is that you have to turn towards him with your 5th hit, but not too far towards him, or he will block you, and then he can just.
Oh my gosh.
Then he can just run out of the corner. Okay, this is phase 2. He teleports himself out of the corner. So we're going to use this sugar and then turn around at the end of the animation, which causes him to miss. And now we hope he lightnings. Oops. Well, now we don't hope he lightnings. It's fine. I healed there because I wanted to show the lightning. Yeah, lightning reversal. We'll explain once we get here. Or once we kill him.
Wow.
Yeah. So
just watching people watching speedrunners take down FromSoft bosses is always very impressive, because it's always so smooth and quick that you're like, cool, great. I casually could never do that.
Yeah. Genny's most people's first roadblock when you play casually. Mm-hmm. But if you just, like, even without the cheese, if you just kind of stay up in his face. But so we used Divine Confetti there. Divine Confetti is mostly used to fight what the game calls apparition enemies. And apparition enemies are like undead, basically, but like specific undead.
Okay.
So if you don't have Confetti active, you do like no damage to those enemies. But even against like non-undead enemies, Confetti gives you 20% boost to your health damage. So not to your posture damage, but only to your health damage. So it's only relevant on kills like this, where I'm like killing him in the corner and he's not blocking at all. So I'm doing all health damage. So I use Confetti there.
Gotcha.
And then the other thing we used on the second half of the fight is a Yasha sugar. And a Yasha sugar will boost our damage by 25%, our posture and health damage. But it cuts our maximum health in half. And specifically, it reduces our maximum health. It doesn't take half of our max, it reduces our max health. And that will be relevant for some synergies later. But you can stack the two together. But again, you would only be doing that if you're either A, fighting undead, or B, fighting something where you're doing a vit kill or a health kill rather than a posture kill.
Okay.
But you can stack them. And then the other principle of confetti is that like a little bit of your damage goes through the enemy's guard, like if they block, basically. Because it's treated like elemental damage.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the lightning reversals are things you do with specific bosses and enemies that shoot lightning at you. The logic is that, like, if you're not touching the ground, you're not grounded, so you can just absorb the lightning and then throw it back with an attack.
Wait, as long as you're in the air?
Correct. So you have to see it coming, which they all have pretty long tells. You have to see it coming, you have to jump to get hit by it, and then you have to send it back before you hit the ground.
Wow, okay. You have to absorb and hit it back.
It's not terribly difficult, honestly, but it's incredibly scary on first playthrough, especially because a lot of the time when you see it, it's on bosses like this, where it's like their third phase. And you've already fought so hard to get that high. And like the payoff is huge, but it's scary to go for them because you don't want to mess it up and die. But it's like, and then have to redo the whole fight. But like, yeah, the game also says you need to block them midair. We don't actually even have the ability to block midair right now. But fortunately, I wonder if at some point in development they did actually want you to block midair, but then they changed it. But like, yeah, you don't have to block midair. You can just eat the arrow right to the face and then lightning reversal.
Huh.
And you always take damage when you lightning reversal, with one exception anyway. So like, you're not really disadvantaged. You just get a faster animation if you can parry in midair and then do it. So we will do that when we can, but like right now, like I said, we don't even have the option. So you just eat the arrow to the face, send it back.
Right.
So we're just doing dialogue stuff now.
Some more like skips and things like that. Dialogue skips, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, and then so every time we kill a main boss, we get a memory, which we use to increase our attack power. And the way attack power scales, you start with 80 attack power. Each additional memory gives you 20 attack power. And it's a flat scaling per attack power. So in early game, your boosts from like using memories are huge, like proportionally. But then like as you get into new game pluses and you get all the way up to 99 attack power, each memory like barely increases your damage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now that we've had a chance to heal there, we can go finish the dialogue here. But we'll show the other like older ways that you can do this. Or in one case, like both of these are considered glitchless ways. They're like allowed in glitchless. Because late jumps aren't banned in glitchless because it would be like absurd to ban them. So we can late jump off of here to get up here where you're not supposed to be able to. Oh yeah, there's the second woo guy.
Oh, I hear that.
And then you can climb up to the top here. So to do that one, you'd have to run all the way around and then up here and then jump into the window and then do that one. The other one, which is cooler, you do down here. This is the second fastest way. So you would run like part way around the building instead, and then you grapple up here, which is obviously faster. And then you kind of run along this, and then you turn, jump. Oh, didn't get it.
Oh,
I'm going to jump and buffer the wall kick. Jumping wrong.
Okay, when you're like used to like the new, oh wow.
Yeah, so it looks weird.
You're used to a different strat.
So it kind of looks like we're kicking off an invisible wall, but we're not actually. There's no invisible wall there. We're actually like, we're kicking off of the platform behind us, but then we're moving in the direction of the platform with some weird control stick stuff. So the trick to this is you want to hold like right all the way until the wall kick actually comes out, and then you want to pivot back left, like as you make contact with the wall. Like that.
Oh yeah, like there you go.
Yeah. So that trick's very cool. Like air swimming is cool too, but there's lots of other air swims. I wish this trick was relevant. And I mean, the new air swim, that's only like 2 seconds faster-ish, 2, 3, maybe.
Than that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, because of the time it takes to like set it up and stuff.
To set it up, yeah, sure.
So that's another story of these games. I get this game in particular that I guess we're not going to touch on too much, but a lot of these crazy swims and stuff are saving like maybe 10 seconds. Like we're doing a lot of crazy stuff for very small time save, but
Yeah. I mean, it adds up over time, of course. That's why it's in the run. But yeah, I can see it seeming like trivial at first.
yeah. And I mean, but it kind of helps make the game accessible too. There's like 10 million different ways to get up here fast. That don't
Right.
save that much.
Yeah, that's the other element about it that's good.
Yeah, so we got to do more.
So how would you...
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so how far through the game would you say we're at about right now?
We're like so we're
percentage-wise.
like 20 minutes in out of like in-game time, like an hour in 10 minutes-ish.
Gotcha. So we're almost a third.
Yeah, we're not quite to what I would consider we're not quite to what I would consider the end of early game, but like almost-ish.
Okay. Well, if we're close to that, why don't we, maybe when we hit that, then we could take a little water break.
Maybe now's better. There's a lot of stuff at the beginning.
You want to do now?
Yeah, because we're gonna, just because like the next section is gonna be a big like air swim tour section. So
Okay.
yeah, now works to
Ooh.
break, I think.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is just, it's our hot fix break, everyone. We take breaks here to make sure that everybody has water, can use the restroom, get up and stretch, and things like that in case you need it. So, hey, while we're taking a quick break and I need water, don't forget that Frost Fatal 2023 is coming up and prize submissions are still open now until February 20th. So you can go to gamesdonquick.com for more info, or you can just do !prizes in the chat. So if you want to, submit your prizes, you can. Plus, this coming weekend, we have unapologetically Black and Fast, which will be really, really cool. So you can watch some Black Excellence in Speedrunning coming up, which is going to be very cool. I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the show, but just a reminder for you to look at while we're taking a quick break, and we'll be right back. We are back with more Out of Bounds. There's still a part of me that is almost defaulting to the old show name, but no worries. Hello, I am Kungfufruitcup, and we have been joined this evening by Spacey L1, who's been showing off the glitches and other things in Sekiro. I mean, when I say other things, I mean bosses dying almost instantly. It's been awesome. Plus some really cool strats. Again, this is breaking it down. We're seeing like a glitch showcase kind of run. It's been great. So yeah, Spacey, get us back into it. I know we're in early game, but we're about to get out of it. I know we're going to be doing some like air swimming. So feel free to count back down and take us away.
All right, we can restart in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I just warped down to this idle here. We're back in front of Bull's door. We're going to use our favorite swim spot in old routes. We used to use this jump 3 times. There's just like a hole in this collision here.
Oh my gosh. So there's just a straight hole in the collision.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to. So like that platform over there, you're not supposed to be able to get to. But spoiler alert, we can get to it, and we will later. But
Interesting.
yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you set this up or whatever? You just jump over and then suddenly out of.
Yeah. So the hard part is that like, yeah. So there's no ledge assist up there on that like that platform that we jumped off of. So it's a fairly easy late jump, but you need to get really far, and you need to wall kick off of like just past that corner. But if you kick like right in the corner, there's a weird thing that happens in some places with when you wall kick, where you'll wall kick, but it'll like drop you like a meter in height. You'll just like lose a meter in height, and then you won't be able to make it. But if you do fail it like that in a run, and you notice that you fail it, you can actually turn and you can grapple onto that tree there. And trees like that don't save your position either, so you can do that, and then you can quit out, and you'll spawn back up there. You still lose like a decent bit of time, but you lose about half the time that you'd lose if you had to like warp back to the idle and retry. So that's like a handy thing if you're learning.
And if you're like practicing instead of
Well, again, if you're practicing, just use the teleport tool, please. Do yourself a favor.
right.
It's extra downloading, but it saves so much time.
Okay, so you just jumped into a nearby body of water and it took you under? Oh, there's a person there.
Yeah, so we're going to do the thing where we're going to go someplace else other than where we got the air swim. And there are
Okay, as long as it doesn't kill you.
Yeah, there are 3 ways that we can get around the, killing us part. We're going to see 2 of them here. Foreshadowing. All right, so first one, we resurface out of bounds in a different area. So now the game is like, oh, you got your air swim in the depths here. So now like we could just swim into here. That won't kill us. So that's one. Second way, which we're also going to see right here. If we quit out when we're near, whoops. If we quit out when we're like near enough to other collision, the game will save our position correctly. And then it will
in that collision area.
Yeah, so it's like around that box below me is about where I wanted to be. So now since we loaded in here, you can see the skybox is different. So now the game's like, oh, you got your swim in Sempo. So now we're good to just wander around here.
Gotcha.
We use that tree as a mark. There we go. So yeah, so those are the two main ways. The third way is extremely cursed. Fortunately not used in any real runs, but we're going to use it for a crazy thing that I found out you could do like years ago that I had to then make consistent for the show, which I didn't realize was going to be a pain, but it took me like 4 hours to get it consistent and figure out an actual setup for it because it's not useful in real runs.
Oh, wow. So you were responsible for the setup.
Yeah, because it's like, we'll get to it talk about it. It's a whole that's a whole tangent. I'm very excited about showing it off because again, I found it years ago. It's not useful for anything, but it's amazing that you can do it. We will get to it.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to show off over here is just that if you played this game, you know that there are certain little doorways that you can take that are called shinobi doors, and you like wall hug them, and then you like circle, like they spin like the revolving doors, like trap doors. And then you can you basically get teleported to other tunnels that connect to it. But you don't get to see what's in the tunnel. But yeah, that's the door. The tunnel is just a dead end. Like obviously the geography doesn't work at all. But what makes me really sad is that the actual teleport is based on using the door. There's not like a trigger here that the door moves you into. Because if we could swim into a teleport trigger and get teleported, I can't say it would be useful necessarily, but it would be pretty sweet. It'd be cool. Just for wandering around. But it is funny that it's just like a dead end. The funny part to me is not that it just dead ends here, but that they bothered to put a wall texture here. Because you can't see around the corner. So you use the thing and you see this here, and then the game fades out. But it's like, why did they even seal it then? I don't know.
Just in case, probably just in case, there's a little pixel or two, or.
But yeah, so that's one.
You never know.
And then so we're gonna go.
We're
gonna get triggered. We're gonna hit a trigger that's gonna send us down to monkeys. Monkeys are way down below the map. Their arena. On old patch, you can reach it. And this patch, it's surrounded by kill boxes. You can still get there, but it's way more difficult, and I haven't even figured out how to do it consistently. And you wouldn't anyway. Okay. It's not faster or anything. But you're supposed to come up here, hit a thing up here, sends you to monkeys, and then when you get monkeys, you get sent to the inner sanctum. And so in current shorter categories, what they do is they grapple up to here from here, and then if you do a late jump off of this tree, which is fairly difficult, then you can come up here onto this building where you're not supposed to be able to, and there's a hole in the collision here. Then you can hop over here.
Gotcha.
So hold on. Let me just.
I was like, but we're just swimming. So.
Yeah, let me fire up the event viewer. Okay, so this is I'm enabling the debug draw again to repeat since we had a break. The game can be kind of weird. It's very bright colored, so.
Okay, I do have a question or two. One was, I don't know if you saw this. Do you need to have dive from fake monk in order to do the swim glitch?
Yes, that's one of many reasons we kill monk first. Because she gives us swim. The other reason we kill monk first anyway is because she's a boss that you can kill without, your attack power doesn't matter because you can insta-kill her. And she gives you an attack power increase. So you would want to kill,
okay, so
even glitchless, you would kill monk first. Yeah, sorry. But
okay, gotcha. And then the other one is, are we skipping single monkey?
Single monkey. Ape? I'm assuming they mean ape, but we're not skipping any bosses in this, or mini bosses, because this is all bosses and mini bosses that we're kind of basing the route on. So you will see every boss or mini boss dead. We just might come back to them. But yeah, so you see with the collision viewer, this is what this looks like. You hop up here, and then you do a jump over this invis wall here, because this is an actual invis wall. And that lets you skip in here.
Oh,
I'm turning off the event, or the collision viewer.
So funny to see the walls like that.
Yeah, and then so you're supposed to teleport in here, and then do pay attention to vaguely what this looks like, because there's another little thing we can do later. That's the Divine Child in there. We'll talk to her later.
I still remember the hairless faced man.
Keep remembering that. And then this is another weird thing that's in a lot of places. They just have like floor textures just as walls out of bounds sometimes.
What?
But it's
so random.
It's like a nice Monet painting though. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Maybe it's there to like be a background in case somebody sees through a corner, or
it's the floor though. See, it's probably just. I feel like they just left it out here, or that they used it to like
probably.
However, their dev tools work. But the reason we can't like swim here in the Divine Sanctum anyway, because this isn't real. This is like a water texture, but there's no swim plane because this is shallow water. So that's why we can't actually do that.
Oh. Okay.
So we have no way to get out of air swim. So that's another caveat with air swim. Most bosses you can't death blow in air swim because there's no animation for it. And then like kind of related to that, you can't hit a lot of triggers and stuff. So in order to get out of air swim, you need like a cutscene or something to pull you out of air swim.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. And then, do enemies still aggro on you this way? They see you?
Yeah, they can. And there's actually like some routes and different things. Those are just the fish seeing me though. They can't hurt me anyway. I'm just going to resave our position here so that we can get air swim back really quick after we do something here. Because we're going to look at... There's another principle here. There we go. So yeah, normally you get out of swim like that. Or like triggering a cutscene.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're going to go up here. So the intended way, we're supposed to come up through here by fighting this boss here. And because of that, like, there's like a lot of extra stuff here that wouldn't be here normally when this is supposed to be playable. So do you remember in DS1 with Kata when he explained death cams? Or like, I'm going to explain it either way, so you don't.
Yeah, go ahead and explain either way. I've learned a lot based on a lot of shows and have a poor memory. So a lot of my show knowledge from all of these games, including Dark Souls, have blended together in my mind. So I'd love a refresher.
Yeah, that's okay. You can just lie anyway, and I would have just explained it anyway.
Yeah, I totally remember, but tell us anyway.
So there are these things, like when you fall into a pit, you know, a lot of games, they have the thing where the cam gets frozen above you and you fall. And like, you fall into a kill plane that's directly below the death cam, but the death cam freezes your camera in place. And it gives you like really weird controls. Like it basically gives you tank controls and stuff. But it also like disables all loading and unloading. So you can use that to walk through doors that aren't loaded by carrying a death cam to a place that like has an unloaded door. However, that doesn't work in this game, and we're going to show you why that doesn't work, because they still have death cams. And in fact, again, because we're not supposed to be over here yet, there are a bunch of death cams and stuff over here that aren't disabled, that would be disabled when you play. So like we could just walk into a death cam right here. However, in this game...
What?
Yeah, there's the controls being weird, see? If we walk back out of the death cam or jump out of it and hit solid ground, the death cam goes away. So you can't carry death cams in this.
It's just in that spot?
Yeah, there's just like a little death cam here. So it's actually like a big plane that extends like over here and over there, but it peeks out a little bit here, which is just very funny because
oh, that's
you
so
just walk
funny.
into
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And then kind of on a related note, it extends over here too. Death cam? No death cam. Death cam?
Oh my gosh.
No death cam. But yeah, sadly that renders it useless under normal circumstances because they got smart in this one and death cams just remove themselves when you should no longer have the death cam. They undid this fix in Elden Ring though for reasons that are completely beyond me, but Elden Ring again has functional death cam skips. Probably says something about development schedules, honestly, more than any other kind of funny thing, but yeah. So take that chance to explain death cams. And now we're going to cheat. I'm using cheat engine here. We're going to get air swim back because I'm just going to dive under and then I'm going to teleport myself above the water.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Because we need air swim back for this.
Sure.
Actually would like to hit a trigger. There we go. But I wanted to get rid of that. So remember how we're supposed to kill this guy? Well, we do want to kill him because this is all bosses and mini bosses. So, hello. Come get me, sir.
Is he gonna come off the
Yes.
edge? Dead.
Yeah, so that's kind of intended as. Obviously, we're not supposed to be like flying, but
Off the edge already.
yeah, you're supposed to get him weak, make him destroy the walls, and then push him off. But we can just
Push him off. Yeah.
make him do that.
I did that with there's a boss on Dark Souls 1, like very early on that you can do that
Yeah,
with. You can push him off
Tauros
the edge.
demon.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
They kind of got
That-
rid of that as a mechanic after like the second game, which is weird. But we can make it reappear in this one by doing a lot of
Back for this,
crazy
yeah.
things because we've already killed quite a few
Awesome.
bosses to gravity, and there will be more. And then we're gonna kill this guy.
Awesome. Perfect.
So this, I'm literally just like I got a stealth death blow there, and then I'm just gonna try not to get murked by the fireballs as I fight him. So that mini boss basically only has 2 combos, so you just know both combos, and you only have to fight through one phase as well. We'll be seeing him again though, so don't worry about that. But then we do another quit out warp here, because we
Okay.
got aggro right after this, so we can go kill him, and then we can warp back here. So we went to the right, this time we're gonna go to the left. So that's like a cool thing. You can do quit out warps like that in a lot of like small places just to like do branching paths. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care about that. Mm-hmm. And now we can go do monkeys. And after monkeys...
Monkeys!
Yeah. So monkeys are like a puzzle boss, but we're going to show you how to solve the puzzle. Step 1 to solving the puzzle, invisibility. Remarkably, being invisible makes some puzzles a lot easier.
Oh, even though you're still being chased after.
Yeah, he knows I'm here, but that's okay. Oh, well, that's not okay. So I have iframes when the door is opening. That's like really unlucky that he hit me right out of the door iframes, but that's okay.
Wow. Wow.
That's
Okay.
fine. So first monkey is invisible behind us, but he's weak to swords, so we're gonna sword him right in the face. This monkey has a gong to alert the other monkeys, but he's weak to getting stabbed in the back here. We'll just do that. And then this monkey hears really well, so we're gonna firecracker him and then stab him in the face, which he's weak to. And then the last monkey sees really well, and he's up there, but he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, so that's where we're gonna stab him.
Perfect.
And the puzzle is solved. There's a cool thing we can do here. This isn't faster, but it's interesting. If
So
we run up here and we end the fight in this dark room, which is part of one of the ways that's like intended to solve the puzzle. When we spawn in to the divine or to the inner sanctum here, the lighting is different. We get this cool dark mood lighting for ending the fight in there. Which I know you only got to see this briefly once in Air Swim, but imagine that it's like your mind is blown right now.
Okay. Whoa!
And we're just going to master her dialogue. We're going to do some menuing. So it's like a common thing in From games where the menu delay is like really inconsistent depending on what you're doing. And like it's mostly in logical places, but it's still annoying to have to adapt to different menu delay. I did that menu suboptimally. But yeah, when you're equipping skills like that, unlocking skills, the menu delay in the skill tree is terrible. Like it's really high. And it's because they don't want you to accidentally like equip skills, like burn your skill points. A lot of people don't realize.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, but like menu delay generally is not always, like some menus are just bad and laggy, but a lot of the time devs put menu delay in certain places on purpose to try and prevent
So that you
casual
don't-
players from doing stuff. We can do
Yeah,
this now.
yeah.
Oh, well that was interesting. I'm gonna quit out and redo that again.
What just happened?
So we have a special attack now that does a lot of damage. I could have just continued that like in a run, but I want to show it the way that it normally goes. So there's like a folding screen there, and somehow I managed to land perfectly on the folding screen, but then I fell off of it when it broke. And just like as a general rule in this game, falling off of things like that cancels animations. It's true for bosses, and it's true for player too. It like clears your
Okay.
queue. So my attack got canceled by falling off of the screen. So that's okay. We're gonna do it again. We can do this now, which does a lot of damage.
Whoa.
We're like just barely over leveled for this fight, but like not really. But we can still.
This is multiple. Oh, I see. It is multiple health bars.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can jump
The music.
and use. So we got a combat art, which is that it's block plus attack, which is this one, Mortal Draw.
Okay.
Because we got this sword on this cool sword on our back. That's what we got from killing monkeys. And it's really strong. And for some reason, it's even stronger if you jump and then do it. Is every combat art
Interesting.
stronger when you jump and use it? No. It's kind of just this one. Why? I don't know.
Interesting, but it just
Yeah,
is.
and this is also the reason that we run on this patch, is because they buffed this weapon. This combat art was weaker in 1.02, so there's like some skips and stuff you can do in 1.02 that are faster, but they don't make up for all the time you save by this thing being strong as heck.
By that being stronger, yeah. And that's why it's okay on current patches.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly, because they didn't nerf it. They're like, no, this is good. I actually kind of agree with them, but that's like a bigger game balance discussion. But yeah, then we use. Gonna cancel fall damage by stabbing this guy. Do not try at home. Try to kill all those guys at once. Oh, I forgot. This fight is also different now than it used to be. That's fine though. I can just casual it. That's okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's some other nuance to the Mortal Blade thing, but it's better if I show it off later for complicated routing reasons. We'll show it off after Ape.
Okay, that sounds good
But
to
then
me.
we could talk a little bit more about how it works. But yeah, basically I
Sounds
cancel my
good.
fall damage by landing on that guy, and then I try to hit all the gunmen at once. And then normally if I didn't leave one of them alive, I would do this quit out warp by like pressing myself up against the wall instead, by doing a wall hug. Because the game also doesn't save your position while you're wall hugging. So you can chain aggro into boss fight into wall hug as well to do that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And now we just got some running, pretty much. This is actually pretty intended.
Monkey.
Yeah, there's a bunch of monkeys. So you can swim all the way. You can swim all the way to where we're going, but it's slower in this category because we have to fight the mini bosses anyway.
Okay, for all bosses. I see.
Yeah, and we'll actually get to see pretty much the swim that you would do later anyway, with our special super secret thing at the end.
Okay, cool. Yay! I'm excited.
But this is
Reminds me kind of the first area.
yeah,
The snake.
because we're up in the mountains. Yeah. Well, funny you should mention that.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're gonna do another late jump off of there. Again, it's easy because we're We're jumping off of the last particular part of that.
okay.
And then I'm gonna do the hard thing. I'm gonna do this place the hard way just because I could reload a save if we fail it. If I fail it or whatever.
Okay. Just like some late jumps and
It's
Grapples.
like, yeah, we'll see. So if you buffer a crouch, whoops, I'm talking and not focusing. Okay. If you buffer a crouch out of that jump there, then she won't see you,
that's amazing.
and that lets us.
Because that was half your health.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people don't know you can do that. You have to have a stealth sugar, and then you also have to. So these guys are all going to be shooting at me. I need to run and jump in a specific way. Okay. Yeah, the pattern.
Or
yeah,
not.
That's okay.
Oh no.
We'll go the safe way from here.
Okay. Well, that was useful.
Yeah, the risky strat's only like 5 seconds faster.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, I could still get shot in the back here, which would be bad, but because I can't revive again now because I revived. That's okay.
Right. You use that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you just run straight and then you jump off the cliff there, and then you just jump off the cliff in a certain way. And you have to be really specific because you have to dodge bullets, and then you also like have to still hit the grapple point that you're not really supposed to hit from there. Because if you
Right.
if you
okay.
get shot midair, then it kills all of your momentum, and so you'll fall into the pit and die. And falling,
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of like I saw you trying to climb a ledge and just getting hit with an arrow, you drop.
exactly.
Which, I mean, it makes sense.
And if
Yeah.
you're like, so like falling into kill boxes in this game normally doesn't actually kill you. It does this instead. But if you're low enough that kills you, it doesn't teleport you back up to the top. Instead, it just full kills you, like 100% dead. And it's like a 3-minute run back, which is really long for this game. So
that's a reset.
Yeah, it's a reset.
For sure.
But this is cool.
There's another boss, mini boss?
Yeah.
Boss.
Notice the name on him here.
Long arm centipede giraffe.
Yeah. So that's a translation error, but it's a pretty great one.
It looks more like a Wolverine.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be long arm centipede and then their name. The other one was named long arm centipede Senun. But for whatever reason, there was some translation error with this one, and they thought it was supposed to say giraffe. So now these guys, they're not centipedes, they're giraffes. They're always giraffes now. Oh, and this is a...
You get any giraffes in the chat?
Yeah. And then this is a prosthetic tool. We're not going to grab it because we don't need it. But take that prosthetic tool, equip it, and go use it on the monks in Senpo Temple. And...
What does it do?
Oh, well, close your ears if you want to be surprised, but... It makes them disappear completely. Like, it just evaporates them for complicated lore reasons.
Oh.
But, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Because normally...
Okay, so you just fell in the water and took a lot of fall damage.
Yeah.
But...
That's okay, though. Fish. Yeah, so normally you would do this error. You would do, like... You would pretty much always casually do Senpo Temple before you come to this area, though. That's why a lot of people don't know that prosthetic works. But yeah, also, they don't expect you to have swim here, or, like, they don't care if you do, but weirdly, this snake, like, doesn't like going underwater, or doesn't like getting water in his eyes, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the swim ability, this is, like, really tense, because you have to, like, hide in the reeds or, like, time your stuff really well. But if you can swim already, you can just, like, harass him and not really care.
Oh.
So that's fun.
Is that his mouth open over there?
Oh, yeah, that's him. We can say hi real quick.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, that's him. He's cool, though.
He'll swipe at you, but...
Yeah, he won't go underwater for us.
Waiting. Huh.
Interestingly.
That's so funny. Okay.
And then we're going to pick up some sugars here. So we can just kind of ignore him. There's a fish sometimes that'll kill you as you're getting out of the water, but we slash-o'd him already, so we're good.
Right, since you were... Oh, and you don't want to sit at that thing and heal?
No. We don't need more health now. I will grab an idol, but I don't actually need to heal.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then we just have to kind of explain the phase 1 strat for Ape. I was gonna do 2 fights for Ape originally. I think it's better not to, especially because the new strat you kind of get to see the loop anyway. But there's a stagger loop you can do in phase 1.
Okay. Yeah, I think just one will be fine for sure, especially if it's like less glitch focused.
Yeah, so it's the same. It just showcases the same principle that we use, but in a more obvious way. But you'll get to see it anyway, because we're try to catch back up on time. But basically, so in the Souls games, there's poise. Bosses have poise. Certain specific attacks, like with different weapons, like R1 and R2, light attack and heavy attack of weapons normally in Souls games, deal poise damage. Bosses have a poise bar that is hidden. When you deplete that bar, you get a stagger. In Elden Ring, it works kind of the same way, but they made like a bigger mechanic out of it. But it really, and like they compare it to the posture bar in this, but really poise and posture are separate mechanics. And what is in Elden Ring is really more akin to like a poise revamp, but I'm being pedantic about it. But that is all to say, this game has poise, even though it also has posture. So Monkey here takes a certain amount of poise damage with each of our swings that is unaffected by our attack power. So this works at any level. Like, it doesn't matter when you come here, you can always do the stagger loop. However, bosses get more poise on New Game Pluses, so you can't do stagger loop past New Game Plus, like 3, I think, is how it works out, roughly. But so he has a stagger, and weirdly, Ape has like a bunch of staggers. So he has a special stagger he does with firecrackers, but then if you keep hitting him, if you hit him 10 times, you get his first stagger, and then you just kind of keep hitting him, and you get a second stagger where his head is like down more. It takes some practice to recognize. But once his head is down more, then you hit him twice, and then you stop hitting him. if you keep hitting him, he will like roll backwards and do like a whole jump attack and stuff. But if you just wait until he starts to get up and then you hit him again, he will go back into his first stagger and you can keep hitting him until you get the second stagger and you can repeat that. So we're going to do like maybe one loop of this. So I just want to explain what I'm about to do. You can do it forever. And rather than hitting him 10 times, I'm going to Firecracker him and then Mortal Blade him to get the loop started.
Okay, sweet.
So I'm trying to hit his head. He takes more damage to his head. That's a good R1. So I'm waiting. Now. I keep hitting him. This is the second stagger. But I can just kill him. So that's the stagger loop.
What? And dead. How did you did so much health there? Oh, and there goes his head. Okay.
Yeah. Well, never mind what I'm doing here. So yeah, he has a weak spot in his head.
Can you take that giant sword?
It's spoken for.
Oh no. Oops.
Need a hit here. Yeah, so his head hole still has a weak spot in phase 2.
Oh, so if you still just get it.
So there's a the intended mechanic.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gross. Oh my god, so gross.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there's immortal things in this game, and they've got centipedes in them, basically.
Ugh, I'm not a big centipede person. If I see a house centipede, I go into like death mode.
Yeah, so
It will not survive.
yeah, there's an intended mechanic when you get his head low like that, where you use the spear prosthetic, which we don't get anymore, but we haven't used it on this boss in a long time anyway.
Ugh.
But you can.
Oh, did sword disappear?
Oh yeah, he disappeared. He pieced out.
Ah, the whole sword.
Yeah, good thing he's gone forever and won't be back. But yeah, you're supposed to use the spear prosthetic when you stagger him like that by parrying that last hit, and then you stick the spear in his neck hole, and then you pull out the centipede, and it does like a bunch of damage. But we found out that it does more damage if you just Mortal Blade him. Which I can do. I can show Mortal Blade now because I'm out of emblems. And so like using Mortal Blade, like it does less damage, but it gets the same animation visually. And I'm not wasting emblems now. So now I can explain kind of how Mortal Blade works. But so then later we found out just Mortal Blading his weak spot with a jumping Mortal Blade does like way more damage than Spear if you hit it right. And you have a sugar active. And then even more recently, we discovered that you can hit his neck hole when he does certain other animations other than when you're intended to. So when he does the scream, I can jump back and see how the end of the animation swings like up like that. I can use the end of that animation to hit him in his weak spot. However, it's important
because it's high enough.
Yeah, it's important to know too, though, that there is a weak spot animation. Like you need to get a full hit, basically. Like if you hit too far away, or like with the very edges of the blade, you get a half hit. Or it's like the damage is like literally equivalent to half, but I just call them half hits.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the other thing that's relevant, not yet, but will become a lot more relevant later, is that during the Mortal Blade animation, you can turn around.
Oh, interesting.
And you can even do it really late like that. So we can actually
Yeah.
use that later to dead angle some bosses with Mortal Blade.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see that entrance.
Jump beside him and then like swing as you do the hit.
Sure.
And then this is, I guess, what we could call a right warp. Where, since we just completed, like, so story-wise, we were doing like a big scavenger hunt to get a bunch of items. We just got the last item we needed for that part of the game. And so it's going to automatically set our last rested idol to this one here, which we never got. So we can just grab the flower and then immediately warp to last rested to get back here.
Oh. I love when the game auto decides that you're like, it's like, yeah, you've totally must have been here by now. You had to have been here.
Yeah, it would take a lot of work to get back here otherwise. So they make sure that you can't screw yourself, basically. But we take advantage of it.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's good. That's good for the game to be able to do that, but also great for speedrunners to be able to take advantage of.
Yeah, and then so we're doing another quit out warp here. So I'm holding aggro, and then I'm gonna go kill this mini boss here. I'm basically just going to be using a combination of jump and firecrackers here. Jumping Mortal Blade. I hit him here. I want to push him up towards the wall as I kill him so that I can... And then one more. Yeah, fortunately I knew he wasn't going to... I knew he was going to get that off, so I parried it. But now we can wall hug here, which keeps the game from saving our position, because otherwise it would save our position as soon as he died.
Okay.
Because...
Oh, which is like what you do with the bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. There we go.
And then this warps us back here. It saves... This one I found, like randomly, it just occurred to me that, like, wait, maybe there's a quit out warp we could do for this. Like when Elden Ring was out. The funny thing... Oh, I forgot. I was supposed to kill that guy so that I warp farther up, so we didn't save as much time. That's okay. But yeah, it was funny because I wasn't even, like... I was, like, still kind of running the game at the time, but it was, like, Elden Ring just came out, so I was playing Elden Ring a lot casually, and it was just, like, in the middle of, like, playing Elden Ring. I was like, wait, what if we tried to do a quit out warp? Like... during the Seven Spear fight. Like, just kind of occurred to me. We're just going up to Owl now. We've seen this before. And again, this is like 10 seconds faster than running up, but it is faster. So this is the first Owl fight. This is another dialogue box that can end your run, but because you can accidentally trigger the bad ending, but there's a lot of menu delay on it, and you have to trigger the bad ending. You have to say bad ending like twice to actually get locked into it. So.
Okay. This is an ending right here?
This is where any percent would end.
Oh. Oh, right, since we're doing all bosses.
Yep. So...
And you're already here?
Wow. Yeah, and we've got like half-ish of the game left.
Okay, and you're just cornering this guy, this poor person.
Okay, so this is as easy as it looks. Like, once you get him into the corner, I'm literally just spamming R1. This one's very easy. Yeah, and he calls us a fool there as he jumps himself back into the same corner where we've
in the same position. So as long as you have the right timing, you'll just hold him there, I'm assuming?
You could literally just mash. You just can't do it too slow.
What?
Yeah, you could just mash R1 here. Once you get him in this corner, you just mash. This one's easy.
You can't even parry?
No, because he... Basically, it's because his hitbox is so gigantic. Like we're hitting him in the foot with all of our attacks. And he's like over here, has no idea that we're going to hit him every time. He just keeps being surprised. He's like, oh, you're swinging, you're going to miss. Oh, you hit me. Wow. It's like, okay, well, you're going to miss this time. Oh, wow. You hit me? Wow. Really?
That's so
like,
funny.
devs, please.
Hello?
But yeah, we get to fight him again, though, because he's we fight him again as like a secret hidden boss, and there's no door to save us. And his moveset's different.
Okay. Ooh, that'll be
so we get a
fun.
real fight with him later.
So that's your dad?
Yeah, your adopted dad, basically.
Oh. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, but he wanted you to kind of turn evil. So Kuro over there has the power of immortality. And your dad really, yeah, the kid does. He actually wants us to cure his immortality, which is like the whole main story.
Okay.
Did I not get all the dialogue that I needed? I'm doing like real-time strats, so... Okay, there we go. I'm doing like real-time strat. I'm getting a little messed up with my dialogue cancels. And again, I have subtitles off. But it's fine, because we're just... You can just mash through this, and it's slower, but... Like... I'm just kind of mashing through this now. But yeah, so Kuro has the power of immortality. He wants to get rid of the power of immortality. That's why we can die and resurrect and stuff as well, because he saved our life with it. But Owl, your adopted father, wanted you to use it. Like, just wants you to give him more immortality.
Immortality instead, and you're like, nah, that's not cool.
Yeah, and that's that choice. Is you can say, okay, Dad, let's do it, and then you fight Emma and Ishin, the old man in the tower over there. That's the final boss.
Oh.
But yeah,
and then it's a bad
yes, that's true any percent or Shura. I've actually never ran Shura. It's the only main category that haven't run, but I will eventually. But
But if you instead kill the dad, then you have to do other
Correct.
stuff
Yeah.
to help the kid. And that's why it's not 80%. Okay.
Yeah, the game doesn't have to be. Yeah, so there's two endings. There's Shura ending, and then there's Immortal Severance. So I think on the leaderboards, if I remember correctly, like true any percent is actually listed as Shura, and then like Immortal Severance is like the normal first playthrough kind of ending.
Yeah, because people want to help the kid.
Yeah. So this is where Monk is here.
Ooh.
So we're gonna enter this a specific way. So that we avoided triggering her entrance, quote unquote. So if you walk too far forward, she comes up over the wall there and then lands here.
Okay.
And is automatically aggroed onto you.
Okay.
But that's actually just kind of a visual trick. She's right there, in between those pile of leaves. She's just hidden. And that means...
So she's there, actually.
Yeah, and actually you can bump into her hitbox from here. Like, we could jump into her. You might actually see it if I fail this, like, once or something. You might actually see us bump into her hitbox. But she still has a death blow trigger because, again, you're supposed to be able to death blow her from up here in phase 2, which is the same reason we could do it originally with her illusion version, which you will also see. And then we're just kind of going to kill her normally after that, sort of. So let me see if I can get this, because it's very tight because I have to hit an invisible target here. Oh, see me slide off of her there?
Oh, yeah.
So she's there.
That's so weird. Okay.
It's okay. This isn't the biggest deal. You lose, like, in-game time, you lose, like, 12 seconds each time you fail it. And losing it...
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's painful sometimes, but usually I don't screw it up too much. I'll try to do it all in one go, and that should help my muscle memory a little bit. There we go.
Oh, whoa.
And now this is the intended phase 2 skip. Hop up here. Death blower immediately.
For the game intended?
Yep. Yeah, that's dev intended. I'm gonna sugar there. Hit her once here while she's starting.
Oh my gosh.
1,
So
2,
gross.
3, 4. Dodge. 1, 2. Dodge. Firecracker. Jump. And we'll get rid of that nasty centipede problem for you.
Yeah, please do. Ugh. Is that why everybody's evil right now? Because they're all infested?
So it's a little unclear. It's a little bit unclear. The important thing to know is that, like, centipedes generally, like, kind of as a metaphor, stand for corruption.
Okay, that's fair. They're really gross.
Yeah, without getting too much into the story here. So up there is, like, a dragon. The dragon isn't really, like, from here, but the dragon puts off, like, the water here. And the water has, like, some kind of immortality properties type deal. And Kuro, for some reason that's not really well explained, his family has, like, the true dragon heritage where they have, like, a real immortality. But there's just kind of the runoff from the dragon that settles at the bottom in the Mibu village where we killed the illusory monk. And the illusory monk, like, or like that kind of immortality is like a kind of a half immortality where you're like, you survive, but you're kind of rotting, like you live forever. Okay. And so it's not clear if, like, the centipedes and stuff are, at least to me, it's not super clear. Or, like, are they supposed to be the decay, or is it just that, like, you're rotting and that's why you're bug filled, even though you're alive? But this guy's supposed to stop us from doing what we're doing, but we're gonna do it anyway in typical speedrunner fashion. I wait like half a beat there after his first lightning bolt hits that tree, and then that causes that one to miss us. You hear it whiz right by us.
Nice.
And then now he can't hit us in this tunnel.
Flooded city.
And now the big carp over there is kind of like the snake where he wants to eat us, but he only has specific places he can target, so we can just swim up there. Then he won't be able to hit us. So yeah, you're supposed to go, like, take a big detour to the left there, and then you kill that guy, and then you swim down through the tunnel, and then you get here and open the shortcut door, which is supposed to be locked. But yeah, that was something that was found fairly early.
That's really cool.
It's also not that hard to do it, even if you die. The important thing to know is that, like, if you do die there, but from the lightning bolt, don't revive immediately. If you revive immediately, the guy will just shoot you with a second one. If you get hit by the first thing because you timed the swim wrong after, like, ducking under the log, wait until he hits you with a second lightning, and then revive, and then you can do the rest of the swim, and the timing works out.
Gotcha.
Because
Okay.
the timing to not get hit at all takes some practice, but you can just do it that way.
Right. I mean, as do most things, but it just seems like overall, what's really nice like about this is that, like you were saying, some of the hardest skips are first, and then like some of these other things they just seem pretty accessible, and the things that don't feel accessible to like newer runners, they're always backup strats, and so like, you know, other avenues that they can do. So this seems like a really accessible game. I mean, I know it's very difficult, but with enough kind of like practice of here's the things you do for each boss. Like, I'm sure there's guides out there, would you say, like written down for each boss. So you're like, here's how you get this boss, here's how they get this boss, and then it just seems like it's fairly accessible speed run in a way.
Yeah, it just takes time to learn because it's such a dense run. Like, that's the biggest thing that holds people back, honestly, I would say, when you're starting, is that it's
That makes sense.
such a complex route. Oh, this is our first headless, by the way. There'll be like 4 more, so don't worry too much. But the underwater ones basically just have 2 attacks. So these are the undead enemies, by the way, that I was mentioning that you're supposed to need confetti for. But the ones that are underwater, you don't actually need confetti because this, like, the presumed lore reason is that this confetti is enchanted with the water anyway, like it comes from the dragon's power. And this water is like, they're already in the water, so they're already vulnerable anyway. But for the land ones, you need confetti to damage them. There, we just do it because it's faster, to just get the extra 20%. And because you can't use a Yasha there, because we need to use a, that particular headless has like a brother that like shoots at you if he sees you. So we need to use a stealth sugar there, and you can't stack sugars. You can only have 1 sugar buff active at a time.
Okay, I love that they're called sugars, by the way. I don't know if I didn't mention that earlier.
Yeah, they're like candies that are supposed to be made by the monks in Senpo Temple. Senpoji. There's an NPC that says that. And I love it.
That's good. That's great. I love it.
And it's funny too because she shouts at you as well. Like one of her lines, she just kind of repeats it. Oh, this is Bull again. If you stagger Bull with firecrackers when he doesn't see you, he'll immediately do this head charge, and if he hits a wall, he'll just die.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's so funny.
But it's my favorite thing because a lot of people, when this game first came out, they were like mispronouncing Senpo, and they would say like Senpu or Senpao, but it's like there's an NPC who literally screams it in your face if you talk to her. So whenever I'd hear anybody like say it wrong, in my head I always hear the old lady going Senpoji.
Yeah, the one screaming it.
All right, now we're gonna go see an old friend, one of many. There's a glitch that can happen on this fight. I don't have like a consistent way to make it happen, so I hope it happens, but if it doesn't happen, I'll just have to describe what it is that would have happened, unfortunately. But so we've been here, but then there's another boss that has like respawned here now that we've done some things. And it's our friend. Hello, friend. I'm gonna wait, kill him with 2 R1s, so I don't waste any emblems.
The same ape?
That's why he's still got his no head.
The no head, yeah, that's kind of what glued me in.
Very perceptive.
Oh, thank you.
But he's supposed to have a friend. We're gonna kill him before the friend shows up.
Oh.
That's the friend.
Please get rid of it. Why does it keep coming back? And there's more centipedes.
This is the last time for him. That's the impact you're supposed to have when you see him, though, because he's like one of the hardest bosses on first playthrough the first time you fight him. And then you come through, you're supposed to come back here not knowing that he's there. And then you're like, no, no.
It'd be absolutely devastated.
Exactly.
Yeah, chat was, I did see some people in chat saying that they were very shocked at how fast you did it because they were like, oh, this is the hardest one for me, or, you know.
Yeah, and this is routed like actually super early as well. That's one of the, not the newest route change, but one of the newer route changes is actually doing that fight earlier, because we found like a lot of consistent ways. Like if you just like use a sugar, like the Yasha sugar, and then you have like the jumping mortal blade. I have 9 attack power.
Good to get it out of the way.
Yeah. Well, and you get like the earlier you can do most bosses, the better, because you get more attack power from them. So generally, the way you want to route is that you kill the main bosses and then go clean up the mini bosses when you've got more damage. But the glitch that can happen there, if you kill him in the right position there, the second ape, instead of like fading away like she did there, she'll just like keep dropping from the ceiling, like over and over, and then teleporting away, and then coming back down out of the ceiling just while you're like sitting and warping and doing your menuing. She'll just keep doing it. And it's like, oh hey, it's pretty funny. Now we're doing cleanup. This is the very beginning of the game here. But oh yeah, look at my health bar though. We haven't upgraded our health at all because it's a speed run.
Oh, now it's even worse.
Yeah. So that's kind of...
How did it go down? It just went down?
Oh wait. This is also different. This is also different because of the new routing, so I forgot the new strat a little bit. I was supposed to jump into it there, but that's okay.
So your health is at like half of what it was?
Half our maximum health. And then notice that we don't get it back when the sugar wears off.
Oh, I couldn't see the rest of the bar. Okay, so the bar's still there, but...
It wasn't there before. No, it wasn't there before. You weren't imagining, yeah. There's...
Oh, okay.
There's some cool other stuff we can do with that, though, and we'll explain it once we, like, get the other item, but that actually synergizes really well with something. Because there are some...
The health bar?
Yeah, actually shrinking our health bar rather than just taking our health away. There's some stuff that's like where the damage and recovery is based on your max health, basically. Like your current maximum health. Like fall damage actually is based on your current maximum health, so you can actually use that to mitigate fall damage. But also you recover less health. You recover less health if you drink your gourd when you've got a Yasha active. That's important.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so... This is another headless fight. This is our first land headless. He's got like a grab attack that I want to explain because it's like really notorious and a lot of people don't understand how it works. But I kind of want to show it and then explain it.
Okay. I do have a really quick question from chat. Was like, how did you get past that second ape? It just kind of disappeared? What happened to it?
Oh, yes. If you kill... So you only have to kill headless there. Headless ape, I mean. And then she disappears. That's intended. You don't have to kill both apes in that fight. Even like casually. Okay. You can just kill the other ape first.
And then the other one
just kind of pieces out. Yeah, she gets sad.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, no, sorry. A lot of people don't know that, but I forget that people don't know that.
It's all good. Yeah, I know when you play this game enough over and over, you're just like, oh yeah, no, that happens. And you're like, oh, other people don't know that.
So okay. I think I'm going to do this fight because it's mostly, other than the grab manipulation, it's pretty intended. And then I will explain the grab and the grab manipulation. And then we'll be fighting another headless like right after this. So then we'll be doing the same grab manipulation again. So you'll be able to see it after I explain it and before I explain it. That should work. Well, he's down here. Kind of hate this headless just because his arena is terrible. That's good RNG though. So I'm going to dash away from him here and turn my back to him, which should bait him to do the grab. No, he didn't. I kind of hope he does a teleport then. No, he didn't do it. Oh, that's the grab. Yeah, so the way the grab works, and we won't show the animation because it's really gross. But the way the grab works is if he detects that he's facing your back, he will initiate the grab like that. But that part of the grab, the animation, actually has no hitbox. So you could see I just turned around to face him and like nothing happened to me because he had no hitbox yet on that part of the grab. Oh, what is this part of the routing? Because this is new. Yes. Abandoned dungeon. This is different. Yeah, so he has no hitbox on that part of the grab. So if you just like, you can bait the grab deliberately by turning around, and then when he gets kind of in range, you can turn back around, and then he has a special like whiffed grab animation where he's like, "Where'd he go?" And you can just wail on him that whole time, and you can get behind him, and then you can just loop him all the way until he dies. However, if he does get in range of the grab and he detects that you are still like that, he does still see your back. Then he will get a danger symbol, which is the red symbol. It's like perilous attack is what the game calls it, but it means you can't block it. It's a grab. And then the grab hitbox does not care if it touches your back or not. The grab hitbox will kill you wherever. So that's the important thing to understand about the attack is Before the symbol appears, no hitbox. You don't have to worry about it at all. Once the symbol appears, turning around will not save you. You just have to jump out of the way. Because the headless have this miasma around them that prevents you from dashing normally. You can dash like in between phases, or after you stagger them. But most of the time you can't dash to get away from it, which is why it's so scary.
Okay.
But we're gonna fight a Shichiman here. This is another undead, so we do need to use this confetti here. But the Shichiman are fairly easy. They just teleport between phases. So we're just gonna loop him here, and then we're gonna bait him to teleport into a specific spot. So we're coming over here to bait him to teleport over there. And since we know where he's gonna teleport, we can catch up to him before he can actually hit us with his big ranged attack there.
Of course.
And then we just loop him to death. Easy peasy. So that item there will be very useful later. Yes. So again, this is part of the game that's like a small reroute. It also means a lot of my items are in different places, so I'm not quite used to the new hotbar yet. So I'm making some mistakes because of that, but it's not a big deal for this kind of run. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is a showcase. We're not concerned.
It's good timing. Definitely looking forward to grinding this more with the new stuff. Because right now it's at the super annoying spot where I'll be like 45 seconds ahead or whatever, but then I'll like lose like 20 seconds on a bunch of splits because I'm like menuing wrong or not doing the right stuff.
You're like, wait, what do I do again?
Yeah.
Or
It's
and that'll just come with time.
Yeah. Yes. And then I'm doing quit outs to advance the world state here. I could also rest it in idle, but like in-game time, it's easier to do quit outs or faster to do quit outs.
If you're just if you're just basing it on in-game, sure.
And it's like not that much slower in this game anyway, real time, than like sitting at the idols, because sitting at the idols takes a while. But that's a cool thing. Like you talk to her here, and then you walk out, and then you quit out, so that when you load back in, your sword's already out, so you actually skip the sword pull animation. It's like a neat, like tiny optimization.
Oh, okay.
Whoops, wanted this one. And so now we're doing some dialogue stuff that isn't intended for like vanilla. So we could go kill 2 more bosses and get Immortal Severance now, but we need to go clean up here. So this is stuff that we need for a hidden boss, basically, that we're doing right now. Oh, and this is like super try-hard movement. You can just walk around if you want, but it is a little bit faster to hop up there.
Sure. Should we get up and stretch real quick before the hidden boss or after?
We haven't actually... There'll be a good time before Dragon, actually.
Great. Okay, perfect.
All right. I got the the bad attack there, and I wasn't paying attention. That's on me. That's fine though. I got plenty of.
You have another question in chat.
Go ahead.
Says if you do the second Hirata before the first, is the Lady Butterfly unavailable?
You can't do second Hirata before the first. If you have the secret bell charm that gets you to second Hirata, but not the first one, it will not let you. It still won't let you enter second Hirata. It'll tell you need something else.
Oh,
and also we haven't found a way to skip that requirement either. There's no shenanigan that we know of to get to second Hirata early. Or even to get to first Hirata without the bell, not that you would need to, but yeah, we haven't found a way to break that yet. Whoops, okay. This is better. Put out and get another sugar later.
Reloading.
I just missed the stealth death blow there.
Right, I
can get another stealth sugar. Because I hadn't used the Yasha yet, so it's fine. Or just... Here. Doggo, please. Thank you. So yeah, that's a way to kill those dogs casually, I guess. Okay. Anyway. As we were saying. And this is also new. Yeah, I didn't do that optimally, but I just found a cycle for this fight that I liked, like right before this run, so I really haven't had time to... Because the old cycle was like you would do the backstab, and then you would use the Yasha, and then you would spear pull him once, which would make him do an animation, which would let me double Mortal Blade him, and then Firecracker Mortal Blade, and then he would be dead. But it's...
Gotcha.
The new cycle that I like better is, now that we don't have the spear, is you backstab, you like come over here to make him backstab there when he's ready, and then you sugar, and then you jumping single Mortal Blade, Firecracker, double Mortal Blade. And so that's why I don't quite have that in muscle memory yet. That's okay.
And you leave the money.
Yeah. Well, I could take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there's like one spot eventually later where I need to buy stuff. But like, I have like more money than I need.
Right.
Anyway.
You collected earlier.
Yeah. And with this route, you don't need that much with this route, basically.
Just look at this little cave.
Oh yeah, this is a secret cave, yeah. So this is another headless. So yeah, I've got like several chances. I've got another chance to bait the manip here. So we'll see if I can bait him into a grab deliberately. And you can get a good view of the animation, like I said. I'm gonna jump behind him here so I can start looping him immediately in phase 1. So unlike the other headless where I kind of had to fight him from the front to start with, this one I can loop immediately because of that. Now I'm going to dash away. There it is. And see, he's like, oh, where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Oh no, he dashed away too much.
Yeah. I mean, poor bro's doing pretty well for a guy with no head.
Yeah, that's true. Well, until now.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, now he's gone. Yeah, so there's like one more menuing section that will finish the quest part for the secret boss. So yeah, sadly these runs aren't a very good guide for the secret boss fight because it's faster to break up the steps for him. But
okay, I got you. So what would be a good path to watch for that?
That's a good question. You probably just want to look up a video. It's the stuff you need for the purification ending. It would be the purification ending is what you would look up. If you want a guide for the owl boss fight. I have to mash through that, and there we go. That's the item that we needed this whole time. So now we can just warp to right before Dragon, and we're good to take that break now.
Okay, perfect. Dude, I'm really excited. I'm excited for the Dragon bit.
Dragon's amazing. I love Dragon.
Yay. Well, I mean, they have a lot of dragons in FromSoft stuff anyway, so... awesome. This has been so cool so far, and I'm sure you all are enjoying it as well. Let's go, except for the centipedes. Not enjoying that, but I'm glad to see those go. So, thank you all for being here so far. We are not finished with the show. Don't you worry about that. We are just taking another quick stretch break. It's very good, very healthy for you. As much as I love gaming for long periods of time, it's very good to get up and walk around, get your body moving. So we like to take wellness breaks here on Hotfix. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we get to see a dragon, and then the purification ending, right? And then all of the other good stuff that comes with the rest of the all bosses, plus extras. So we'll be back with the showcase in just a few minutes. Alrighty, we are back with more Out of Bounds. Hello, I'm Kungfufruitcup. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far, or welcome if you are just joining us for the remainder of the show this evening. We are joined tonight by Spacey, who's been showing off the glitches and other cool boss strats, unintended things, etc. in Sekiro, and it's been really awesome. Definitely shows the level of skill that you can have with these FromSoft games and all of the really cool things you can do, like air swimming and all these like sneak attacks and out of bounds segments and what's the jumping? The
late jumps.
Late jumping. It was like delayed jumping. No, that's not it. Late jumping. All kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, Spacey, feel free to take it away. Count us back in, and let's go see that dragon.
All right. And starting in 3, 2, 1, go. I have to remember to menu something here because that's also new. So we're going to be seeing the first use of the ceremonial Tanto here, which is another thing that was rerouted, where we skip spear, which means we don't have 3 prosthetics in early game, which means we don't get all the skills we used to get. And one of the skills... that we would get would allow us to have a higher max emblem capacity, but to make up for that, we do Shichimin, the first Shichimin fight earlier, which lets us get the Ceremonial Tanto. And so the Ceremonial Tanto takes half of our health in order to give us 5 extra, like, temporary emblems. Kind of like blood emblems.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is phase 1.
So weird.
It's kind of an auto-scroller to a point. As long as we kill these guys at least fast enough, then it's an auto-scroller, kind of. Because they only spawn so fast, and we need to kill, like, I think it's 40 of them total.
Whoa.
So now we just wait for the last few to spawn, and we can finish them off all at once. I need to do that.
Because by being up there, you can do an attack.
Yeah,
down.
that's a special, unique death blow. Yeah, these guys have.
Whoa.
So I see I cut half my max health there, but since I'm going to use a Yasha here anyway, it like doesn't even matter because my health was going to go down anyway.
The dragon! Oh!
And so this is a fight that's intended to be a gimmick fight where you just wait for the lightnings to spawn, but we're actually going to try to get him into an attack so that we can hit him. 1 half hit. I need to wait for an extra lightning now because I got a half hit on the first hit there. That's fine though. Okay. So this will be a 3 lightning fight. It's supposed to be a 2 lightning fight.
So you're gonna have him do it again? Oh no.
So the lightning spawn every 15 seconds, basically.
Gotcha.
So it would be really bad in a run if I did that, but it's like
yeah.
Okay, and then this part is kind of an auto scroller as well. He's just gonna do attacks basically for like 25-ish seconds.
Okay.
So we can lose time though because he won't immediately transition when that timer runs out. He'll finish whatever attack he's doing. So we just don't want him to end with a really long attack, which is this one. He's done this twice already though, so he shouldn't. He should do okay.
Less likely to do it then.
Yeah, this is the last one. I'm gonna dodge this. I'm just running to the side and jumping every time he does it, and that works out. And now we finish the fight here with this scripted lightning.
Oh, wow.
But it's cool that, again, it's supposed to be like a spectacle, kind of gimmicky fight, but you actually, like, fight him more straight up. Not very often.
Why are you killing him? Because he's providing the kind of false immortality to the other...
he has eyeballs. We're not killing him.
Oh, God.
We're not killing him. We're cutting a tear out of his eye. But we need this special sword to do that.
Oh, so you didn't kill him? Oh,
no,
okay.
We just cut the tear out of his eye. Even this weapon. This weapon's the only thing capable of even, like, wounding him, but it doesn't kill him.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
No, he's a good boy.
I don't want to kill him.
And it's really sad, too, if you follow, like, the lore. Because, like, the lore is that he's, like, kind of sad and scared. And, like, he doesn't really belong here, and it's not his fault that he's causing all these problems accidentally. He just, like... He's just kind of lost and far from home. And there's one of the endings that's like about like trying to return him, but in typical like FromSoft fashion, it doesn't tell you like how that works out. So, but that's the is it called Immortal Journey? Need an extra sugar there. I don't remember.
Can you do that kind of ending in conjunction with the purification one or the one for the kid?
Funny you should mention that. Those two are, but yeah, those are mutually exclusive.
Okay.
So we got another boss strat coming up here. So this is where we used to use the spear. This is the big thing that's different with no spear here. Whoops. Oh, that's okay, because I forgot to. I grabbed an extra sugar anyway. There's another extra sugar I can grab. I forgot though, during the auto scroller phase of the fight, which again, this is like a new thing, I'm supposed to do that. But there's another extra sugar right here. So this is where it's good to know like just casual item spawns.
Right. Yeah, that's helpful.
But this is the hard thing. So there's like some enemies have armor on them, like bigger enemies, and you can strip the armor off with the spear, which is normally what you would do, but he's still vulnerable from the back. So we're gonna bait him into an explosion thing here, which is like intentional. jump here. But I need to make sure that he's like... his back is facing the explosion. There we go. That's good damage.
Nice.
So you see I do like nothing to him when I hit him from the front.
Yes.
So normally with the spear strat, you would pull off all his armor and he would die there no matter what. But it's like barely slower to not have spear, and like getting spear is like 15-ish seconds out of the way. So it's definitely faster. It's just like I'm just not super used to it yet. But that actually went really well.
Okay. Yeah?
Oh yeah, and this is another thing here. Like someone was talking about with Harada, since we hadn't got... they probably noticed that we hadn't got the old lady's bell there. If you come back here... okay, there we go. If you come back here after old lady is dead, at the end of the game, you can just like get her bell from really far away because it's treated like a loot drop, not like a static item. So it's way faster to just come back and absorb it from her later, rather than getting it in an early game. Because we haven't been to Harada yet, but we'll go to Harada. It's like a separate area that's balanced like early game. So this is like one of the hardest bosses in the game, casually. Demon of Hatred.
Harder than the ape?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like two of the hardest bosses, potentially, depending on who you ask. And it's this one, and it's the final boss. But notice he's in Gyobu's arena, so we can gravity him to death as well. It's like a fairly long fight, ordinarily. We're gonna do some other shenanigans here, anyway. But if you want to see, if somebody wants to see this fight like casually, I have on my YouTube and my Twitch. And all bosses, New Game Plus, no Kuro Charm Demon Bell, which is both hard mode modifiers of the game.
Nice.
So, I mean, I do have on my YouTube that fight, like in challenge run form, if you want to see like kind of how the fight flows and stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll do plugs at the end of this as well, so you all can know where to go to check out all that.
But so I got him stuck there. So this is a part of the game we were in earlier, but you're not supposed to be able to get here now, as evidenced by the fact that we can kind of like turn the buildings on and off. So like,
what?
Building on, building off, building on, building off. I think I'll leave the building off for now. Save electricity, you know, we're being green. So this is where you would do bull skip, which I figured we'd just wait for here to show off anyway, because it's convenient. So the old way on patch 1.02 to do bull skip was you would late jump off of there, and you would wall kick off of this tree collision here, but I'm going to turn on collision viewer here real quick. And if you see, you can even see like the different colored wall is where they put the extra collision.
Oh, weird. Okay, yeah, look at those colors.
I believe it's different color because
So
you
weird.
can't, I don't think you can wall kick off of it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's why it's different color. They really didn't screw around. Oh yeah, there's, so yeah, you see like the green plane over the yellow plane there? That's the classic death cam over kill plane setup. So anytime you see that in the collision viewer, that's probably what that is. Okay, I'm going to turn it back off now. But, you know, speedrunners being a resourceful sort, we found another way to do it. Wow. So I only ran this shorter categories when like old patch was the fastest we knew about. So I've never had to do this in a speedrun. I learned this specifically for this showcase. So I'm happy I got it first try there. That's funny. But yeah, so there's big walls here. But that's that's Bull's arena. So you can go around to the left here and just skip Bull in early game if you want. And then it's not useful for anything. But if you go along the right here, there's another swim spot. But we're not going to use that either. Okay. So then the thing is, if we come back here, our old friend Demon of Hatred, because we went so far away from him, is just gone. So you see his health bar still up there. Funnily enough, the music restarts, but he's just kind of gone. And also because of that, this fog gate isn't here, which means we can run up here. And there's an NPC in here you can talk to. And she's like, kind of talks like he's dead, which is funny. But what's funnier is that like, so you see this door here is blocked off and there's fire behind it. So I'm just gonna underscore, you can come up here, right? You can come up here after Demon of Hatred is dead. So this isn't like, we're not supposed to be up here yet, but you can come up here. And then if you just jump around this corner, like you don't even need a late jump or anything. You can get back to this area, which again is where we were earlier in the game, but you're not supposed to be here. So these items on the ground are just things that were already there. They're not like new item spawns. They just don't despawn the items. And there's even like the idol there. You can still just use this idol and it just works normally. They just didn't bother to like despawn anything over here. But it really seems like they don't want you to be over here because they put this over here. So this not only is it like not touching the ground or like burning anything, but it also like has no hitbox. So it's very strange. Like they were like, yeah, we don't think you could go over here, but we're not really going to try to stop you or despawn anything. So that's kind of funny. And then so, oh yeah, Demon of Hatred. So yeah, he's gone, but he's not dead. Fortunately, there's a trigger here that respawns him. But I don't know if it's because this is a different Demon of Hatred or what, but he has no collision now. And he has no hurt box either. However, he does generate hitboxes still, so he can still kill me. I can also still parry him, but I can't lock onto him, as you can see there. So it's pretty difficult to parry him, and you can't kill this guy with parries practically anyway, because he doesn't do enough parryable attacks. There's him killing me. But we can still gravity him, if I can just get him into this corner. And not die to the fireballs here. That should work here. He doesn't jump. Okay, cool. So now we can do this jump again. And then in like the run, this is more or less what you would do initially. You would just run and jump up here. And then bait him off over here. Either by throwing yourself off the cliff or using the grapple point. And goodbye, Demon of Hatred. And that's like one of the hardest bosses in the game. Now we're just going to do a bunch of menuing here. Because we didn't bother using the memory that we got from Dragon to increase our attack power. Because we were just going to throw him off a cliff anyway. And then we do our last bit of menuing here. Now finally we get something that most people like get early in the game, which is Makiri counter. So we haven't had Makiri this whole time, and we've just had to avoid like thrust attacks otherwise, like different ways. And then, oh, this is another thing too that people don't realize is that the thing you get from Ishin in the beginning, if you do his quest, once he's dead in post-game, or like after Dragon rather, nighttime state, you can just grab it, like grab the skill tome from his building there, which is what we did. And that's faster than doing his quest by quite a bit. And now we just warp back here, and now finally we can go to Harada. So yeah, I could do that menuing later. So yeah, this is Harada 1. So we are very over-leveled for being here, but bear in mind we haven't upgraded our health yet, and we're frequently running around with like less than max health anyway, like with half health. So we can kill most things here really easily, but they can kill us still really easily as well. So then we're gonna do another swim spot here. This spot only saves 7-ish seconds. But we can basically swim around all of Harada here. And like the skybox for Harada is really cool. Especially if you go under here. We got any Subnautica fans? Just dip down to Subnautica there real quick. Shoutouts to Salvner. I'm gonna go back up. So really what you would do though is you'd come around here and you would go up here. I'm gonna try to get the normal skybox here so I don't have this water effect. There we go. And now if I'm gonna turn on the mesh viewer here. So you can see this cliff, like there's just like a giant hole in the cliff here. That we can just like kind of jump around to. So we like jump over here and then we like slide down this. And then we just like aim ourselves to fall in this little triangle here, basically. And then I'm gonna turn the mesh viewer off. The cool thing about Harada too is that Harada is like all one big load zone. So you can't like destroy yourself here, like by going too far. And that skip, it's not too hard to do to get into that hole. So it's like something you could do casually. You could do that and then just like kind of fly around. And Harada's really pretty. It also like loads in a lot more smoothly than like Monk does. Or not, Senpo, than Senpo does. And in there is the big tower, the big building where Butterfly is. You can swim in there and her cutscene will pull you out of air swim. But this is all bosses and mini bosses, obviously, so we're not going to skip straight to her. We're not going to skip straight to her. Instead, we're actually not going to be skipping any bosses with this. We're just using it to move faster. Because as I mentioned, your swim speed is about 50% faster than your sprint speed anyway. And then you also obviously can take a much better line. And then so this guy we want to kill in a very specific way. We want him to see us. Okay, this is fine too. Basically, we want to kill him from the front at first, and then... Yeah, there we go. I jumped, like, kind of... well, the first time I would have... I jumped kind of behind him to bait his, like, stab behind him attack. And that means that I can kill him with a backstab for the second phase, because that's a faster animation. The reason you don't want to finish for phase 1 with a backstab is because if you do, he has, like, a ton of iframes and takes forever to get back up to let you stab him again. So it's very particular about how you want to do this. So for people who aren't familiar with this game, we're like kind of in the past right now. So there's Dad. He's not dead, which is how we fight the secret version of him. And he's supposed to make you put your sword away when you talk to him, but if you just like run up close to him and then like mash the talk button, for some reason Wolf just doesn't put his sword away. So that saves us the sheathing and unsheathing animation. And then we're going to come up to here. There are some walls in this game, like specifically, that are coded to let you wall bounce off of them like this repeatedly. Otherwise, you can only wall kick off something once while you're airborne. But there's just like intended places where you can do that. We're just running past all these guys. We're just going to take a shortcut through the fire here. We don't care about eating that damage. Then we're going to stealth sugar, and then this is another stealth death blow that a lot of people don't realize you can get. But even though this guy's like surrounded by all these guys and has like a wall to his back, you can still actually sneak up behind him and start phase 1 with a death blow. And then we jump into the corner. Mortal Blade, Firecracker. Double Mortal Blade, and that's the fight. And half the guys didn't even see us. And then I'm going to run slightly to the left here so that this guy sees us early, so that he stops to shoot before he blocks our path. If you run straight at him, he doesn't see you until he's already blocking your path, and you have to like hit him to get him out of your way, basically. And so this is Lady Butterfly. We are again very over-leveled, except for our health, so we will just absolutely destroy her. So yeah, she picked the do nothing opener, which means we just Firecracker, double Mortal Blade, Death Blow, get some emblems back while I'm waiting for her to respawn, or for her real form to show up, basically. I wait till her health bar appears, pop another sugar. Jumping Mortal Blade, follow her, jumping Mortal Blade as she tries to summon the illusions. And the illusions just despawn when she dies. Now we just wait for these to end. And Orin is next, which I'm saying largely for my own benefit, because that is another slightly different route change. Oh, and I need to do this too. Now we're going to equip the finger whistle. The reason we equip the finger whistle, because people ask about that a lot, because we won't be using it. If you don't equip the finger whistle, there's like a certain mini boss that will not spawn, which is another one of the Shichiman fights. So that's why we're equipping the finger whistle. It literally is required to get all the bosses. Then, yes. Now I can get these last 2 emblem upgrades, which is the big reason I want them. So that was 2 down for Orin now. So Orin is like a ghost type enemy, but there's a specific pattern basically I can use to kill her in. So I'm going to run up here right before this grass. Yasha, jump. Double Mortal Blade. I want her to jump away, yes. Firecracker, so that I can jump and kill her from behind, because that's gives her a faster wake-up animation. Jump facing away. Ah, she turned away. That's fine. Basically, the cycle is normally... that was good until phase 2. You need to like move away from her facing away, and then you like jump, and then like as you're in midair, then you angle it back towards her. And then your second hit, you need to angle straight at her because you don't want her to jump away again. You want her to actually block you, because she won't parry, she'll just block. And then it only takes 1 more hit to kill her. And exactly how fast it is from there depends on like what attack she gives you. But that wasn't terrible. Well, now we can go back to Owl here. And also because we've killed Orin already, we get health back on death blows. So there's 2 things that give you health back on death blow. There's a skill that we've already grabbed a long time ago, and then Orin also gives you health back on death blow. So since we're using a combination of the ceremonial Tanto and the Yasha sugars here to like use our health as a resource, being able to get health back from death blows is helpful. So like we Tanto here, we sugar. So it's like we didn't even use the Tanto, so we can use the Tanto again now if we wanted. I want to kill him with a parry here because I want to push him backwards so that he should... Nope, okay, he was too close to the wall. And then he did that right as I started. It's okay. Yeah, that's fine. But basically, he has an attack where he'll jump back and summon his wolves. And so, if you hit him right and then you don't push him too far into this corner, then you can jump around here and hit him, and he detects that there's room behind him, so he will backstep and then do it. And then we can just kill him while he's backstepping, basically, or like after he backsteps, while he's whistling. Ideally, that's what we would want to do. I'm actually going to show this is like an older strat or like an RTA strat, or what you would do when you can't quit out, basically. And so I'm going to approach this guy from behind. I'm going to get this stealth death blow, so he's down 1. Got to avoid his arrow. Hit him twice. Backstab him as he's dying, which lets me stealth cloud, blood smoke cloud, and then kill this guy. And then I come over here. I buff as he's buffing. I want to bait him over here so the archer doesn't see him. See me, I mean. And then I should be able to kill here. Nice. The other way you can do that, that's probably easier if you don't mind quitting out, is you run up from this side, you use 3 shurikens to kill that guy, and then you backstab the ninja dude, the Lone Shadow, and then you run up here and you stab this archer, and then when you quit out, the game will put you back like over here, and Drunkard won't quite have seen you yet, so you can run around behind him and start the fight off like that, and then just fight him normally for his last phase. So that's 2 ways to do that. Now we're up to the secret owl boss fight. This is the Owl 2.
Because I lost a fight of it. I was, what the hell just happened?
And this fight, this time, since we don't have a corner to get him stuck on, we're going to be relying on Mortal Blade mostly. Jumping R1, Mortal Blade, see what he does. Dodge behind him, finish phase 1. And I'm going to try to dead angle him here. If I do this perfectly, it's just 4 Mortal Blades for the fight. 1. He blocked that one, so that's a half hit. It's fine though if I get the other 2. Parry that, which always lets me get 2. Okay. He chose to teleport, which is annoying. Yeah, so that was a slow ending because I missed one, and then he picked a really bad attack to do for his like last attack. Because if he does any other attack there besides like the jump back teleport, you can just kill him right there, even if you get a half hit. But I mean, I got a half hit, so it's, you know, it's my fault. But I have to wait for his dialogue before I can sit here. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am a different host. Unfortunately, Flu has lost internet, so I will be here until either Flu's internet comes back or for the rest of the show.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
Yeah, so now we're in like the post-game state here. Or not post-game, but like... Well, we were already here. Yeah, so sorry, we just got cleanup. We just got cleanup to do, basically. This is like the Ashina Castle boss rush section. This is one of my favorite parts of the run. Even though it's like really stressful in actual runs, obviously. So this is another Ashina elite. We're just gonna double Mortal Blade and then wait for him to do that. He doesn't usually take quite that long to do it. It just depends. Yeah, usually does it more like that, but it depends. So these guys don't have very many attacks. If you jumping Mortal Blade them like that to start the fight, they will always respond with the fast double slash there. You just have to get the timing on that, which isn't too difficult. Because the second slash comes out so fast after the first that you're literally just buffering. You literally just buffer the second one. So you just have to time the first one and then mash the second one as fast as possible.
Okay.
And then we got... So that's the mini-boss there in front of us. That's his friend that you're not supposed to see until you enter. And if you backstab the friend, you'll instantly aggro the boss. And if you try to go for the boss to get a stealth backstab, then that guy sees you and the boss aggro's anyway. Which is mean. But we're going to use our magic ninja quit out powers instead. Where we're going to stab that guy. And then we're just going to quit out, which is going to put us outside the boss arena. And he's going to forget we existed.
That's neat.
There's like a lot of places in the game where you can do that. You can like kill an enemy and then teleport away and then go fight the boss. But this is the only one that's worth it in the run.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to do another technique here. Where I actually like bump him mid-air as I'm doing my Mortal Blade animation because I have like collision when I'm doing that and I can push him out of the way. So normally we wouldn't quit out there, but I'm just showing something else, which is that if you quit out like after you stab him and you get the money and the spirit emblems from it, then he'll be back, but I still got his money and his spirit emblems. And then I can actually just do this again. So, I mean, I'm not an expert on like the casual, like the best places to farm like casually, but it is pretty funny to me that you can just farm this bro like this and you get experience and as if you'd killed the mini boss, but the mini boss respawns.
That's actually really sick.
Yeah. So we'll kill him this last time for real. We're toying with him. We're being very mean to him. Because we've stabbed him like 3 times now. The funny thing too is that when you do this to bosses, like their blood splatter is still on the floor. So it's like we really have just been stabbing this guy repeatedly and just not letting him die. And that's not very cool. So we'll let him die this time. And then we're just going to use the next sugar that we're going to need for the next fight. Because we have time while we're waiting for the door to despawn there, the fog wall rather. And then we're going to kill this guy from all the way up there. And since we've already got our sugar, we're just going to jump away, try to double Mortal Blade, try to get the ads if we can, and then we want to backstab this guy because it's a faster death animation. That guy stayed alive, but that's fine because he's all the way over there. So he's not a danger. Now we're going to do another parkour skip. I'm going to kill this ad over here just to make it easier to show what we're doing here. Because he'll hassle me if I like try to do the skip more than once. So there's like, you see those little protrusions on that like building there. That's kind of where we're aiming.
Okay, yeah.
And then once we get on there, I can use the collision viewer to show exactly what we're doing. So we're here, then I jump and wall kick here. So, all right, I'm turning on the collision viewer. Yeah, so this is the little point that we're on. So that one over there, that blue wall, that's not an actual invisible wall. That's like the Legicist wall, as you can see by like what's over there. So that one doesn't like stop us. Like it's just like a tiny little point. So if you even just like turn to jump a lot of the time, you'll just fall off. So that's why instead I did the jump and then wall kick to jump over here. But I need to get around to this. But I need to get around this corner here. But the fortunate thing is that because this is an actual invisible wall here to try and prevent me from getting around this corner, I can sprint into the wall and then jump around it. We can use their walls to our advantage there. Oh, and then that's a death plane and a kill plane and a death cam right there as well above. To keep you from skipping down here that way, I'm turning off the collision viewer. And then now we can drop down here, and it literally just skips opening this big door, which takes forever to open. But it's like almost 10 seconds that you save, or like thereabouts, because it takes so long to open that door. Now we're going to kill the second 7 spear here. He's got an ad with him. We're going to ignore the ad. I can sprint up to him with my stealth sugar if I follow a specific path there. And I'm going to do the strat again where I'm going to kick him midair by drifting into him. I'm going to... Try not to hit him with that one. That's fine. You got to like free aim the firecrackers. Okay, that's fine. I try not to hit him with the, I don't actually need to kill this ad, but I want his emblem. That's fine. Because I died and had to use another firecracker, I would have been short on emblems there for the next fight, so that's why I did that. Like, that's not faster in runs, but like I messed up, so it's okay. I'm gonna grab this here, actually, anyway. So it didn't matter either way. Normally you wouldn't grab this, you would just go into the final boss. This is the other boss that I mentioned that people tend to consider the hardest. And there's no particular cheese here. We're gonna be using the Mortal Blade for sure. And like our buffs. But it's mostly like you're just kind of doing the fight more or less as intended for the most part, and then just slipping in Mortal Blade damage where you can. So first things first, we're going to heal here, which causes him to do that attack, which we can punish. Double Mortal Blade, respond to what he does. That's phase 1. So that's like the pre-fight. And this is the real fight with Ishin here. Yeah, that's not what I want to see, because he didn't really give me an opportunity to use Mortal Blade there. Dodge that as he gets his spear out. I'm going to Firecracker because it cancels him out of that animation faster. Do 1 jumping Mortal Blade. Want him to do this jump back attack, because he'll always gun after the first time he does that. And now for the last phase, jumping Mortal Blade, lightning reversal, and then double Mortal Blade to end phase 3. And that's the fight.
You made that look super clean.
There's a cool bug you can do with him here, but I'll show it after we do the main run because it would be awkward to show off now. And that's a cool little thing too here. Like people often wonder like what that animation is or is supposed to be, because it's like he's supposed to be decapitating him. But there's a, I don't know. Production, stop me if this is too grim, I guess. But there's like as part of that like kind of practice in certain parts of Japanese history, they would actually partially decapitate them instead. So that they could be displayed, like the body could be displayed with the head, basically. But it's like it's harder to do that. It's harder to partially decapitate somebody and still kill them. So I would imagine that's probably why they decided to make that. Like they went with that choice for the animation. But it's like a cool thing.
Cool.
Okay, so this is the ending. I'm going to mash through this text. We're not actually done with the run, but the way the rules of From games generally work, because of the way that post-game works in From games, is that you're not required to end on the credits. You just have to trigger the credits at some point because the game lets you stay in game after that. So we've triggered the credits there now. And now we just have cleanup, basically. So we've got like one more run of bosses to do. And this is not the newest thing, but a relatively new thing. We're going to get to use a different combat art now. So we're going to run off here, and then we're going to do our menuing. We're going to switch to Dragon Flash, which we just got from Ishin here. And then we're going to go down to Divine Confetti here, because we need Divine Confetti again, because we're once again going to be fighting undead-type enemies. So I'm going to try to do a late jump here. There we go. That just skips a wall kick. Come up above this headless. I'm going to Yasha, then I'm going to Confetti as I walk over him. I'm going to try to bait him into doing a long range attack like that. And then I'm going to Dragon Flash him twice. Which gives one, R1, So sometimes you have time to get usually you have time to get that one R1 in, but it depends on when he initiates the ranged attack. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, that's fine. So the reason we're using Dragon Flash is because Mortal Blade does nothing to these guys, but if you, like Dragon Flash is supposed to be a ranged attack, but if you hit them with the blade part of it, you get 4 times normal R1 damage and you apply the confetti buff. Whereas Mortal Blade does not apply the confetti buff. So it does like nothing to undead. Whoops. That's fine. Oh, that's fine. I messed it up. We just have to do 2 phases now instead of 1. But this is supposed to be an early game boss, so I do actually know how to fight things casually still. But normally you shuriken the monkey as you're jumping towards him, and then you get the first stealth death blow. I just ran too close before I slid, so all the monkeys aggroed. So I was like, oh, well. I actually could have saved it, but I wasn't sure. So, it's fine. And now we've got 2 more Shichimen left to kill. And we will be done with the normal game route, basically. And then I got 1 thing to show, and then we will probably have to take a quick break. So this guy will die in 2 Dragon Flashes here. I just use a Shuriken to aggro him earlier. Because if I hit him when he's not aggroed all the way, then he'll be continually regenning posture still because of the animation that he's in. So it won't die, he won't die in 2, basically, if I don't hit him with that. But that's another one. We're just manipulating his spawn by standing by those rocks over there. And then we warp back. And now just the last Shichimin. This is the one in the palace. And for some reason, this is the only Shichimin you can stealth death blow. But it's really difficult. Like, it's really specific to do. Basically, we need to aggro him to trigger a certain... Like, we're not even aggro him, but we need to get somewhat within his range to trigger a specific animation or, like, end a specific animation. And then we need to go far enough away from him. And then we need to come back. So the current fastest way we know how to do that is to run out this door slightly, run back here, use the confetti, walk for a little bit, and then jump over this ledge, and he should be vulnerable. Yep. This is the last fight in the run, and it's really annoying to screw that up because you, like, didn't quite go far enough in one direction or the other. And then we hit him twice. And then for the third one, we have to do that, like, direction canceling thing that I was talking about. So I'll just run away from the dogs, and I'll show it here. Another dog. Can I hit him with this up here? No. Doggo, please. Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying. Yeah, so what we have to do there for that last hit is if we keep facing him and we just, like, hit him like that, then he'll actually parry us and teleport away, and you lose, like, a ton of time. So instead, what you have to do on the last hit is you have to face away and then cancel in his direction like that.
Okay. That looks really cool when you do that.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Does not sound easy to do.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Okay.
The hard thing is that the hitbox for this weapon art takes some getting used to because it kind of hits, like, diagonally like that. Like this, but opposite.
Okay, yeah.
So you just want to kind of circle to the left slightly like that. And now I'm out of emblems, so the animation's different. You just have to be really careful that you're not, like, pressed up against his body in a weird way because you can whiff, basically. That's the only hard part about it. The cancel timing's not too tight. It's just, yeah, getting full damage. Okay, there's one more thing I'm going to show on Ishin real quick before we take a break to transition to Old Patch. I just need to load an older save file because we don't have Spear anymore. And then since we've already seen the fight as well, in the interest of time, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to give myself, like, super damage, and we're gonna speed through the fight because it's just something when he's in his, like, dead state there. So again, to be clear, this isn't even a glitch. This is me using I'm using an external tool in the interest of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Since we've already seen the fight. This is a funny thing too. I don't think they ever fixed this either. And it's weird that they didn't bother to fix this. Because they're usually pretty good at, like, the things that they fixed for the most part are things where you can, like, actually soft lock or miss out on things. And I mean, I guess technically this one isn't in that category, but it's, like, close. But I definitely want to show it because it looks really funny. But this is why it would have been awkward. Like, I couldn't really show it off during the normal run because, like, I would have had to redo the entire fight. I need to let him transition here. You actually can't kill him if you kill him without letting him get his spear out. Okay, so I'm going to pull out my spear. He's in kind of an awkward spot, but that doesn't really matter. So you're supposed to R1 him here, obviously. Because that's how you trigger all death blow animations. But if you spear pull him, he just, like, bugs out. And yeah, he did his death dialogue, but he's not dead. And so now we're just here forever. Except not actually forever, because you can quit out, but if you have to redo the entire fight if you do that. So don't do that. Don't do that casually. But yeah, I had to show that because he just, like, basically his equivalent of T-posing, and then he just pancakes, and it's funny. But yeah, but he's stuck now. He just lives down there.
That's a fate worse than death.
But yeah, so if we could take like a quick, like 5 or 10 minute break, I can down patch and we can show the last like 20 minutes, half hour probably, which is old patch extra stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that. Like Spacey said, we're going to take a quick break. So if you want to, go get some water, stretch, anything you need to do. Right before we go to the break, just a few quick reminders. Frost Fatale 2023 prize submissions are open right now until February 20th. You can go to gamesdonequick.com for more information, or use exclamation prizes in Twitch chat to submit your prizes. As well, we have Unapologetically Black and Fast coming up. That's going to be February 11th and 12th. Celebrate Black Excellence and Speedrunning coming up this month. Use exclamation UBAF in Twitch chat for more information. With all that said, we'll be back in a few minutes.
Bounds Church is on standby just in case, but my ISP was just going in and out. We're not sure why, but you all are great. Hope you've been enjoying the show with Spacey. Don't worry, I've been watching from my phone on the side, still involved, and super enjoying this Sekiro glitch showcase. It's been awesome. Spacey, you're doing a great job. Thank you for dealing with my silly internet. It's like never happens. It's like a that's never happened before moment. But now we're out of bounds, so so yeah, we are back and we have one more portion of the show to go. So Spacey, feel free to count down, take us back into it. I know we got some other cool stuff to see before the show ends tonight.
Yeah, so hold on, let me see why my cheat engine isn't working. So the first thing, there's like one thing, well, there's like 2 sets of things basically. So this is just a quick thing. This is like an old patch strat. Oh, I know why it's not working. I'm dumb. I was selecting the 1.03. I'm sorry. I just have to... So basically, we're going to be using some hotkeys and some cheat engine stuff to help us speed through this. Because there's some stuff as well that we're going to be doing that we've already done in this run, so...
Okay, cool. So we're just gonna be zipping by it.
Yeah, there's one of the things is like a story kind of skip, and so we've got stuff set up so that we can just insta kill all the bosses or like the
perfect. So
bosses.
To see the stuff that we really want to see from the old patch. Cool.
So the first thing is that in old patch you can access monkeys without using the intended teleport, and the reason that they patched that is because you could sort of soft lock yourself. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
If you kill monkeys before you go... Well, not if you kill monkeys, technically. It's if you get the Mortal Blade, before you talk to Ishin about the Mortal Blade, when you go back to talk to him every time, he will just continually say, the Mortal Blade. And that's it. And his dialogue won't advance. And so you can technically unstick the game if you get stuck there. But to do so, you have to... Whoops. I didn't die there. That's fine. To do so, you have to do a really difficult... You have to do a really difficult skip that we will be showing. We will be showing in a bit. So they don't let you just swim to monkeys anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah. They surrounded it with kill planes. You can get there early, but it's significantly more work.
Right. Yeah, I remember you telling us about that earlier. Yeah. Saying that you hadn't found a consistent way to get in there now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be faster anymore anyway, because we can just skip them all together. And like yeah, you can get their memory, which increases your attack power if you kill them rather than skipping them completely, but it's still not worth the time it takes. And so, like, 'cause the thing is, normally you can't get to monkeys at all until you normally can't get to monkeys at all until you've done here instead. Oh, I know why that happened.
Okay.
I know why that happened. Yeah. It's because I was set to Senpo, but I went backwards accidentally.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
entered the abandoned or the tunnel. So that's what it looks like when the game like kills you.
What was on his arm in that loading screen?
Oh, I didn't see. Sorry.
It was a little creature. It looked like a little like platypus.
I don't know. There are enemies that have like centipedes attached to them, but for the sake of your sanity, let's just say it's a little centipede or a little platypus.
No.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I was like, that looked like a cute little platypus on his arm, like he's holding it like an owl. It's okay, that's not important.
Oh, maybe it was the idol, because that's how he holds the idol.
Oh, okay.
If it was the main character. So I'm swimming down,
Gotcha.
so I can see like the little, like the island forms like a little mouth there down here. That's what my visual cue. And then the tops of the buildings will start to pop in. Yeah, so now that we're getting into like the faster, like any percent type stuff, you're gonna see like some longer swims. So here we go.
And this is still, oh, well, I guess this is an older patch, but this was used in any percent for a while.
It was, yeah, in Immortal Severance, there was some different swim routing. But yeah, so again, sprint speed is like way slower than swim speed. So we don't have to puzzle anything. We just like,
Wow.
that's the invisible monkey. If I can hit him.
Oh, I was wondering what was happening.
So the invisible monkey's kind of annoying to hit. But it was actually kind of annoying when this was like strat. That actually doesn't even kill him. Okay, it did kill him. When this was a strat, because like, I just need to find the orange monkey. The invisible monkey, like he follows you really strangely when you're swimming.
Okay.
And so like optimally what you had to do was you had to like enter the arena from a certain way so that he like tries to follow you and jumps off a cliff like as you're entering. And it was really frustrating. Monkey, please. There we go.
Oh, that one runs alone.
So he'll be like, he like follows behind you. But he follows in like a certain way.
Uh-oh.
I've got the terror monkeys on me though, that's the problem. Let me see. Get him down here. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that this strat isn't a thing anymore. Because it's like,
Yeah, I can see.
well, there was just a way you had to really consistently enter the arena and it would work. So if I turn around a few times, once he catches up to me, like his footsteps will show up. If he can path to me, he's having trouble pathing to me. That's fine though, he dies. Is the... See, that should be him jumping. He should be like over here somewhere.
Oh, I see.
But it's
yeah.
annoying because I have to get him to
Thought I
walk and then I can see his footsteps. But that means I have to go kind of far enough away. And he just like takes like a few steps and then like kind of teleports behind you. There
You have
he
to
is.
find him. Oh, there.
There's his footsteps. There we go. Okay. I'm going to quit out before the cutscene plays, but you get the idea. Chasing down
Right.
the non-invisible monkeys is the funny thing. Okay. So we're loading in. So I mentioned the bad ending, that there is a bad ending. I'm just reconfiguring my damage multipliers here.
Okay.
Oh, let me turn.
So we're going to
music
see
down.
the bad ending?
Yes. Well, we're not going to watch the cutscene, but we're gonna see the
Right.
boss fight.
We're going to go to the boss fight.
But I'm going to
I'm kind of sad about it.
destroy them because I have cheat engine on.
Okay.
So yeah, so we're back up here at Owl. There we go. Everybody else is, like all the other bosses up to this point are dead, basically. That's something I discovered. I'm going to pick the bad ending on purpose this time, which is this one. So I have to hit it twice. And now Emma, who was supposed to be the woman who gives us our healing item, she's like actually a really cool character. But yeah, bad ending, so.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. But she's a really cool character. Her moveset looks really cool. Like I actually she's actually my desktop background. Like I think she's really cool. But we gotta
Aw.
stab her. So this guy will like spot dodge your R1 if you don't firecracker him. So that's why I did that.
Who is this person?
Okay, so this is Ishin. This is the old man we talked to in the tower, but he was in disguise then. This is specifically his like bad ending form. The actual final boss that we fought was him in his good ending form. So he dies after you kill Dragon, like just of old age, illness, etc. And then Genichiro, the boss we fought up here initially, uses the other mortal blade, which is explained with some other text, to sacrifice his own life to bring back his grandpa, which kind of makes him obligated to fight us. But we fight him in his peak physical condition in that one. So it's a longer fight and it's harder and etc. Gotcha. So we skipped through it, but there were the credits. So you can see we did end the game because there's start playthrough now. But we aren't done with the game. So this is a glitch I discovered a long time ago when the game was new. Or something that doesn't exist. A meme category that I like to call all grandpas. Where we will.
You need to submit that to no category left behind.
It would not be. I don't think it would be fun to run. It wouldn't be fun to grind anyway. To put it that way.
Okay.
But
fine. That's fair.
You can fight both Ishins and get 2 endings on the same file without going to New Game Plus. Is what I discovered.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So we got the bad ending. Now we're doing this swim. We got our swim in the same spot, but this is a longer swim. So this is what we call Dragon Swim. So we're swimming to Dragon now.
Oh, wow.
Which is like 4 minutes-ish. I have save files all along the way if we screw up and die or something, so we won't let it take too long. But there's at least one thing we have to see on the way. So obviously, yeah, this takes some time to learn. Also, if you get the Mortal Blade from after killing monkeys, before talking to Ishin about it after killing Geni, this is what you have to do to unscrew your save file. So, keep that in mind if you're thinking about whether you want to try and do that just to have 1 extra attack power on Geni. Is then you have to learn this if you want to actually finish the game. But I have done this a lot, obviously, because I used to run this category. Oops. And I've de-rusted it for this. I gotta go around this. But yeah, you can crash the game if you do this wrong. So I want to level up my head here. So I'm not going like super slow, but I'm trying not to crash the game. So I come out here.
That makes sense.
There's that rock up there, which loads in weirdly. I'm gonna go down a little bit to make sure I'm below the water.
But that's good that you have the rock for like the reference, the point of reference.
Yep. And there's Snake, and he's really long.
Oh,
They didn't code a tail on the snake for whatever reason. You just infinite snake.
It's never ending.
Just infinite snake. And now we hit
Oh my
this
gosh.
point. Yeah, so if you wanted to skip straight to Ape, this is how you would do it with this swim, and then you would go up over the walls there, and then like get back out of the water in this plane in there. But yeah, infinite snake. So that's cool.
What is that useful for? For going straight to
Yeah,
Ape?
and you could use it depending on your routing in all memories.
Oh,
which is a
okay.
category that's only all main bosses, which I also used to run.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, there's a second snake down there as well. Which, like, lore-wise, there is a second snake, so that's not, like, just a bug, but it's funny because double infinite snake.
But, like, that's unused, or maybe it's used
There's
for
another
something
cave
else,
down
or-
there that has that snake.
Oh.
That snake attacks.
And it appears, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's interesting, but it does look very goofy from here.
Yeah. Nah, he all right.
And yes, to answer the question in chat, yes, this is like a glitch showcase that featured an all bosses run, kind of extended with some other things. And now we're seeing a previous patch for some like older any percent glitches and
yeah.
etc.
So the swim to monkeys doesn't work the same anymore. This that I'm doing here, technically you could do it. And in fact, some aspects of it are even easier on current patch. Okay, we're good. Oh yeah, so if you quit out like in air swim and you're too far from any like collision, you'll get like a black screen and the game will eventually just kill you and you can't like menu or do anything. Because it's like it starts the game, but then it like just nothing loads in. And eventually the game's like, and you're dead. So it's funny when you quit out inside that rock to save your position, like sometimes when you spawn back in, there's just that black wall and it's like, oh no, I got the black screen. But no, there was no black screen. Oh yeah, this is Mibu. I think this is pretty as well, because like that flashing is like just an unintended graphical bug, but it kind of looks like lightning. It's like there's lightning in the
Yeah,
mountains.
it does.
It's cool.
It's actually really cool.
So we're actually almost there. So if you remember... Oh, but this isn't the optimal way to do this swim, by the way. You would optimally swim through the abyss and just hit this load trigger up here to pop this in, but obviously, like, it's very easy to get lost in the abyss. Which is cool, but, like, scary when you're doing runs. And, like, you can count your strokes. It's, like, 40-ish. I don't remember the exact number, but it's, like, 40-ish strokes. But obviously, if you get to, like, 46 or whatever, and you're like, oh, I haven't hit it, I screwed up. But it's like, how did I screw up? How was I angled wrong, you know? Because when it's that distance, you're swimming over just nothingness and hoping to hit a load trigger. It's like, it's scary, but it's faster. So that's how I used to do it. So I'm using the cloud in the corner of my screen as my lineup. I just put that cloud in the corner of my lineup.
There's a cloud.
Oh, yeah. It's like by my UI.
Oh, bottom right. I
Yeah,
see.
sorry.
Okay. That's okay. It's just right behind like some of the items and the like some of the UI, so I could barely see
Yeah, and
it.
if that cloud doesn't spawn in, then you haven't hit the right load trigger because your skybox is wrong, by the way.
Oh, good to know.
So now I have those 3 mountains there. I'm swimming towards under the 3rd on the right here. And I don't want to get too high, but I want to be like about even with the legs of the piers there. And I'm swimming until I see the 2 fish. We're swimming, and we're swimming, we're swimming. There's 1, there's 2.
There we go.
So in this case, there aren't actually 2 fish. That's just, you're supposed to see the fish swim into the tunnel, and then there's like another fish in the tunnel, but it's supposed to be the same fish. They just use 2 different objects. Okay, so I'm turning on the mesh thing because I need to surface into this water here, and I need to not touch anything else or we will die. And I don't want to have to redo this, and I'm not in practice for doing this without the viewer, so. And now I will turn the viewer back off. And I'm also going to save our position here for later. And so yeah, this, in Immortal Severance, this is what you would do. You would swim up here, basically. You would have to get the Mortal Blade first. Because that animation where we cut the tear out of the eye, that doesn't play if you don't have the Mortal Blade. Even though you're not supposed to be able to get here without having the Mortal Blade. It's interesting that they did actually be like, no, you need it. Since you need it canonically, we're going to make sure you need it now.
Interesting.
So we can explore this place by swimming around. But unfortunately, the Mr. Soccer football player over here, even if we're air swimming, he still counts that as swimming. I guess you could call him the lifeguard, but kind of the opposite. So he will still kick lightning at us constantly. And even if we make ourselves invulnerable, that's annoying. So we're going to go take him out first. Also, you'll notice it's all foggy here. That's because we haven't killed Monk. So you're supposed to walk in, and initially you can't see this whole place. So it's like all covered in fog. And then once you kill Monk, the fog disappears, and then you get access to the area. So you just like can't see anything in here.
Oh, right. Monk gives you swim, but in this you've already...
Oh, it's the other monk.
Oh, okay. I was like, he's a monk.
Yeah, so it's like you just can't see anything down here because you're not supposed to be. Not ever supposed to be down here.
Right.
We're going to teleport out of bounds. Did it not? Okay. Interesting that wasn't loaded. That's fine, though. We just have to wait until we die here. That doesn't matter. Because it'll start us back at the thing. Yeah, it takes forever. This is why I had the teleport tool. It seems like it just wasn't loaded, but there's a safer way I can get air swim that will make sure this doesn't happen, but I didn't have that happen.
Again, and it is part of, it does seem like things are kind of better now that some stuff has been patched or changed.
They were pretty good. They left a lot of the stuff that was fast but didn't break things. Like the reason they tried to patch bull skip and failed is because there's a thing where like mini bosses you're supposed to skip, mini bosses that you're supposed to skip will let you buy their beads at the end of the game from a certain vendor.
Okay.
But since Bull, you're not supposed to be able to skip him. The vendor won't sell Bull's bead, so you could miss out on that bead on your first playthrough. So like that's why they fixed that. So they're pretty benevolent, really. Okay, so
Yeah, they really wanted people to be able to collect everything in case they skipped it, like by accident or.
Yeah, so this is pretty. Back there is where Dragon is, like the teleport to Dragon. I'm going to turn on the mesh viewer again, but if we turn on the mesh viewer here and we look up there, what is that?
Oh my
It's
god!
a castle in the sky.
I love Castle in the Sky.
Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, perfect.
It's really, really hard to find your way up this without collision viewer, so I'm just turning on collision viewer until we get up to the top. But also, like, the skybox changes when you're up here because obviously it's like it's a hidden, like they hid it up here. Okay, so we turn off the collision viewer, and there's Dragon. He's up here. And this is what the game calls the Divine Realm. And you get a special skybox up here. It's beautiful.
Whoa.
And
That's so strange.
even better, the dragon fight is functional.
So you have to go all the way up to and then all the way back
Yeah.
in?
But it's functional. If we...
There's a really tall walls around that.
Yeah. Why is it not letting me in here? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if you come down in here, these guys spawn.
Oh my gosh, and then you can start fighting them.
And then we get a cutscene, which pulls us out of air swim.
Which puts you back in bounds.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so now, weirdly, normally the damage you do with lightning reversals is fixed and is not dependent on your attack power, but in the dragon fight, your lightning reversal damage is dependent on your attack power. So with the cheat engine, I can just one-shot him.
Oh, nice.
So we just have to sit through this.
This is the 25-second thing, or no?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He's just going to do attacks for a little bit.
I remember some
Yeah.
things. Let's go. I was very proud when I remember.
This world is so pretty. Like, I actually commissioned art of this boss in particular, like somewhat recently, because the aesthetic of this fight is so cool.
It's very pretty.
This is also
Makes me extra glad.
this is also the reason that I dodge his last flurry that way, is because like in shorter categories you don't have the ability to block while jumping, and if you can't do that running
gotcha.
thing, you need to block while jumping in order to get through that flurry alive.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it back for this too.
Yeah. Oh, that looks
Okay.
so painful.
You still got eyes.
Yeah. Guys, so weird.
And it's only for that little, like couple seconds of that cutscene where that works, where you can
Yeah.
clip your camera in him for some reason. So always make sure to do that. Okay, so now that we've killed Dragon after doing the bad ending, we forced the game into night state. And so
Great.
this is where Emma would give us the key. Would give us the key to the Emma would give us the. She's alive, but she's not happy with us. I guess because we stabbed her or something. I don't know.
You just killed her?
Yeah. So she won't talk to us. So we've got to make our own way because the gate to the final boss is locked. We're this close to all grandpas. Ugh. Can't believe.
Oh, Grandpa. So why do you think she doesn't respond? Because it thinks that the game kind of thinks she's dead, sort
Yeah,
of?
it's something like that, or like it's not loaded in. So the reason we're doing this in old patch is because actually the way that they fixed this on current patch is that she just works and she gives you the key. But that's no fun.
Yeah. Oh,
So, and there's special things that happen because we're doing it this way.
that's good. You can do this on current patch,
It's
but it'll
even
work
easier.
better.
It works too well. We're doing it the fun way. Oh, that's actually not what I
Okay.
meant to do, but yeah, there's the mesh viewer. That's what this hole looks like. It's just a little tiny.
Oh, this is the same hole you keep jumping
yeah,
into.
it's my favorite hole. Anyway. Yeah, so we're down here. This is just like a kite handle because there's a kite up there. There's
Sure.
another.
Of course,
Yeah.
there's.
That's all I need to say about that. Okay, so
Okay.
This is the trick that I discovered that made me name a fake category that I don't ever actually want to run. If I could get this to load. There we go. So over there is the final boss. However, the final boss is in a different loading zone. So I will die if I go there.
Okay.
Oh, remember hours ago when I said there were 3 ways to avoid that aspect.
What about that dude? The dude with the no
Oh,
facial hair.
that's coming up too. Everything
Oh,
pays
no,
off.
not that
Everything
yet.
pays off. But this is can get positioned right. Okay. So remember what I said about death cams not being useful. Well, death cams freeze load zones. So if hopefully this works. I think I'm too far right, maybe? Yeah, I'm too far right. So I need to get over there to get to the boss. Let's see. It's so annoying to position yourself and swim. Keyboard and mouse doesn't even make this easier because like tapping W gives us like really weird behavior. Okay, come on. This work? There we go. 1, 2,
Oh.
3. So there's a kill plane under this death cam, so that's why I needed to dodge backwards out of the way. And then I need to go down.
Are you going down?
Yeah, and I need to go down low enough
Under the
kill plane and under the collision because the cliff collision extends really far down. And I need to, the thing that I didn't know initially when I agreed to do this, I hit a kill plane. That's okay. A different kill plane. That's okay. That's not a bad way to fail it, really. The thing I didn't know is that where you need to get the death cam in this case is kind of specific.
Okay.
Because if you get a death cam too far, then the cutscene trigger isn't loaded. If you get one too close, then the cutscene trigger is loaded, but so is the environment. So you see the cutscene, and the cutscene plays normally, but you die as soon as it ends. So I have to trigger this in like the exact right spot. Okay. I'm a little higher than I should be. That's okay. Just let myself go down. But yeah, your swim controls in death cam are terrible. Okay. So we're under. We got it.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Came back
And
up.
now this happens. Because their models aren't loaded. So we get these weird
this?
default models. So Kuro's a shiny demon child.
What? That's
That's
the kid?
with confetti hair. And then Genichiro has a full beard on his default model for reasons.
That's not the one without facial hair,
It
or
is.
is it?
So this is his.
Oh, that's the one that didn't have facial hair.
Yeah, so this is his without armor form, which he is supposed to be in his without armor form here. But yeah, he doesn't have a beard in this scene either. Not really.
And he's got a full beard
He
now.
has like a little bit of wisp on his chin, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. So like maybe at some point they thought they might want him to have a beard. But
Interesting.
he has a beard.
There it is.
And Kuro just looks scary. Like he says it's all right. Wolf says it's all right here. Things are not all right.
Yeah, for sure. Jeez.
But yeah, so they're like untextured, and for whatever reason, untextured in this game is like crazy cool light creatures. Like look at it, even his bow is like all chromed out. It's super cool. Sadly, it catches up and he loads in here.
I like it.
And he looks normal. It does face my camera at the ground for some reason, though. But we'll just kill him real quick just to show this cutscene works normally now. So now they're all loaded in. Sir.
And now we do the actual fight.
Yeah, so he was parrying me there. You can't parry you can't die off of a parry or get posture broken on a parry. That's true of the player and it's true of the bosses. So that's why he wouldn't die there, because he was parrying me and it doesn't matter how high my damage is.
Okay.
That's actually something I didn't mention, but like, yeah, the player has posture too, but again, you can't get posture broken as long as you parry. So you don't have to pay attention to your own posture. You just don't miss a parry. And yeah, he has some of his dialogue is missing and doesn't play, but otherwise it functions. He's supposed to have dialogue there too, but it's gone.
And it's just all because of how you got in here?
Yeah, so like lots of stuff wasn't loaded. Like, because yeah,
hey, at least his form loaded, I guess.
Yeah, and the credits loaded, so...
And the kid, that's
we
sad.
did it.
That's so sad.
Well, he's not actually dead yet, but in this ending, he does die.
Not yet.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, it's okay because he wishes for death.
But I think he wanted it on his own terms.
Yeah. Well, in the other ending that we did, we saved him. Except I didn't actually save him because I just mashed through the fastest thing at the end. But yeah, we got two. So that's 2 endings in one save file, which is I'm very proud of.
That's awesome.
And then we've just got there's 2 other things. One is very quick.
Yeah.
So the other is a similar glitch cutscene. So if you do like the normal Immortal Severance route, like so for the bad ending there, I had to let me make sure I save my position here so I don't fall out of bounds. So in the normal like the bad ending, you have to kill Genny, sorry. But if you do like the normal Immortal Severance routing, you can not kill Genny and just swim straight to Dragon. And if you do that and then trigger Genny's cutscene in night mode, you get this cutscene, which again happens because Kuro and Genny aren't loaded. So see, now his sword's all chromed out too, and this is him in armored form. And again, full beard.
Oh, that's so weird.
Also, like the skybox behind them is messed up a little bit too.
Yeah, that doesn't look quite
the
right.
colors aren't quite right. That bow is sick though. They should just make a weapon that's like that. If that's their default, they're covering over that.
Like inverted colors. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
He looks like he reminds me of like Light Jack not in like Jack 3, but in like Jack 1.
Okay, I'm saying the kid reminds me of the girl from Eco. If you've ever seen or played that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the logo.
Oh yeah, his clothes are shiny too. The mirror finish.
Yeah.
I don't know. They should have put it.
So
maybe
weird.
it's not too late. They could put a weapon like this in Elden Ring that looks like this, because apparently they're just covering over this.
Just add it on in there, you know.
Because he's gonna draw his sword here at the end. Also, it's echoey because again we triggered a cutscene in Swim. And like that, he looks so cool, like from that, like
All glowy. Yeah.
And he, like, I don't know, when you
you.
can't see the beard, because like you can't make out any facial features in that too, which I think also is like really cool. And then there's his sword, and you could barely tell with the sword because it's supposed to be metallic, but like then now you can tell.
But it's still
Now
there.
you can tell.
Yeah.
And there's no Hammond line.
It's cool.
Oh yeah, we're ready for a super cool fight with this light warrior guy, and he doesn't spawn.
He doesn't even spawn?
No, we're just stuck here.
Are you soft locked?
I can quit out. But yeah.
But yeah.
There's no fight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because his cuts, yeah, unlike the other one, he doesn't load in. We've got one more thing, and then we will be done. And so this is like some overlap between like an intended story beat, like that's extra, and like what you can do with sequence breaking. So you'll notice from the fog
Okay.
here that this is glitched. What is it? Fountainhead. Sorry. Well, there are these guys here that have like a quest line with the carp. If you buy all their stuff with fish scales, which I just did, you can feed their bait that they give you to the carp, and that lets them usurp the carp, which means they become the big fish. Although you only see them becoming a small fish. But the implication is that they will eventually become big fish.
Interesting.
But sadly, this kills the big fish.
Oh, it kills the big one?
Yeah, because there can be only one, I guess. Highlander rules.
Yeah, Highlander rules. Those are really big fish. Oh, that's
So
sad,
we
though.
advance time here. And this is the guy who's supposed to be feeding the fish. And he says, where fish? But we know where fish is. So fish body
Gone.
watches downstream. And what is all the way downstream? What immortal creature has been drinking from the fountainhead waters and thus got a centipede? It's Ape, who's supposed to be dead.
Oh!
But we skipped up there, so he's not dead. So he's got a giant
Where's the
fish in
fish?
his arena, and he doesn't know what to do about it. We can go inside the fish.
Oh. Did he come in?
Yeah, he can hit me through it. The fish does not protect us. But we've got one more thing here. If I can get him, he's stuck. He's stuck in the fish. You
In the
must come
fish.
out of the fish. I'm sorry.
Out of the fish. Come on.
this way. Okay.
Come on.
We need him.
Out of the fish.
We need him here. Don't run back there.
All chat's like, why are we saying fish? For
That's
fun.
how you say fish.
It's fish.
He's struggling.
Oh no!
I just need to hit him one more time.
What is happening?
There we go. Okay. This should work. Like, it's not a big deal if it doesn't, because I can... There are other ways, but...
Here's the head, and then we have the second phase,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Just climb up here. Just need him to... Kind of depends on how he opens, basically. Like, I don't need him... I don't need this to work immediately, but it's... Like, if he just does the right attack and positioning in phase 1, it's easier. I don't know if that'll work. No, it didn't.
Okay.
That's fine.
So what else are we looking at?
We get him up here. Come back.
Is this what we want? No, we're still waiting.
Yeah, hold on. I'll make myself invulnerable. Just to...
Just for the sake of seeing what we want to
Yeah,
see.
just to make sure I don't accidentally die or something. I need to get him... I need to get him up here.
On the fish.
Yeah. Maybe this will work. Yay, we did it. No, he undid it. Come on. I just need him to scream up here. That definitely works. Yeah, so my health can go all the way down, but I won't die now.
Okay.
Okay, this should work, because he's screaming now.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Why is this not working now? Come on, buddy.
No, I'm so curious to see what's going on. Get on the fish.
Am I too close? I don't know. Do it, buddy. I didn't have too much trouble getting this to work before. Come on.
Like the climactic moment. I'm wondering what, like if we just want to, do you want to let us know what we're supposed to see, or do we just want to
Yeah.
give it another minute?
I need him to scream on there.
Just to get on the fish tail, it looks like?
Yeah, maybe I should, Oh, finally. We did it. He has accepted our offering of fish.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
so he's stuck up there. If I jump up there, he will attack me, but he doesn't know how to target me with anything. Because this isn't supposed to be part of his arena. Yeah, so he knows where I am, and he'll turn to face me. But yeah, he doesn't actually know how to hit me, so we're friends now.
Like he's basically, because maybe he's too separated from his
Yeah,
arena?
exactly, because there's, like, enemies usually and bosses have, like, set paths and stuff, like, depending, based on certain collision and stuff. But yeah, he doesn't know how to path down from there. So we're friends now.
That's so funny.
Hey, buddy.
There he is. There he is. He's hanging with the fish.
Yep.
He accepts the fish.
Yeah, and that's all I have for us today.
That's awesome. All right, sweet. Okay, so excited that I was able to come back for the rest of the show because, it was a sad time when my internet just randomly went out. But wrapping up here, let's take a minute and first of all say thank you so much for being patient with the internet stuff. A huge thank you to Church for jumping in for a little bit. While all of that was getting figured out. I had somebody in chat earlier make sure to tell you how good of a job you've been doing, and I agree with them wholeheartedly. This was really, really awesome. Also, I would like to hear, and I would like you to share with everybody watching tonight, please tell us where we can find you, what you're up to, and your streams, your content, like what do you want people to see?
That's kind of a thing, I guess. I have like a YouTube. I have a Twitch still. I haven't like streamed in a long time, basically. And I mean, it's complicated, but the short version is basically I'm schizophrenic, and that's not like a new thing, but it's like a constant thing. So it's like been over decades. So it's like it's tough for me to balance. Like when I was streaming before, like it was fun, but it's hard. It's hard. Like a lot of my life is like managing stress levels and what I'm comfortable with and stuff. So I've been doing more of these shows. I've been, trying to get back out there again, but basically I don't stream that. I haven't streamed in like a long time. I don't know when streaming is going to fit back into my plan, but I love doing stuff like this. Please check out GDQ, check out the Speed Souls YouTube channel. Absolutely. We had our big marathon in November. So there's like tons of VODs up there. I had a run that I did for that I'm really proud of as well. So please check out all those people, other marathons, really just go exploring in speedrunning. And that would be my request to you is look at all your local scenes and stuff around you for games you like and stuff, and really just get involved with the scene. That would be what I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that's thank you for sharing with us, and sorry that that's something you have to deal with, but you did great today. We would never know. I mean, this showcase was awesome, and yeah, always here to support. But I know you did also mention that you have the YouTube stuff, with some all boss things that you all can check out. So please make sure you all do that, and then again, check out the other Souls community sites and speedruns and all of that. So Cat's giving you lots of love right now. But yeah, thank you for sharing with us and for coming on the show. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, and I hope you all have enjoyed the show this evening, even though I had to step out for a little bit. Just a reminder before I let you go that we always appreciate your support here on Hotfix. Thanks for helping us do what we do with all of your Prime Gaming subs, your subs and gifts and bits and all of that. It helps support this Hotfix content. So thank you for that. And if you have prizes that you want to submit for this upcoming Frost Fatale, which happens at the end of this month, you can get those in now through February 20th. So feel free to get your prizes submitted there. And then if you want to check this out, maybe you joined at the end and you're like, oh, I wish I had watched the rest of this showcase. You can do so on the YouTube channel. So you can go to just search, Game Zone Quick on the YouTube channel, and you can watch the Hotfix content, which is great. That's posted all the time. You can always catch up there. And yeah, I love all of the supportive words from you all in chat as well. Super kind of you. This is why we have such a great community here. You can see in the FromSoft community, all of that. So thank you again to Spacey. Huge thank you. You did an awesome job. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Out of Bounds. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care and have a great night.